gave it the attention. I think that's where all that attention will be at the end of the year when we're winning a state title and all that good stuff. So, but yes, it's been great. The community's been awesome. I can't speak any highly of our administration, our coaches, our families. Everything's been great. So yes, around the community's been awesome.
I know this is situational, but you didn't really have to tap into the passing game as much as you might have to down the line because of how effective the running game was. Where do you find a balance with that? I know it's week by week with the opponents, but what do you want this offense to look like, assuming it's a balanced attack on a weekly basis, or if they're trying to attack Hansen and take that away from the playbook?
Yeah, that's a great question. Key emphasis that we work on each week. We truly want to be balanced offensively. We want guys to be able to cover. We want defenses to cover every space of the field. So that when we game plan each week, that's always our emphasis. But when we're rocking and rolling and we're going to feed the hot hand. They kind of played. The way they were setting their defense up, we just took advantage of everything we got, and that's what we're going to do. Whatever they give us, we're going to take. If they're going to give us the run game, we're going to go 12 personnel, and we're going to absolutely hammer it and get after people. So, it is important that we develop, especially Eric hasn't played varsity football in a while, and I definitely want him, and our receivers are young too. I want to get in that momentum, and that's the emphasis that we have. But we're also not going to make the game difficult. We're going to take what the defense gives us, and we're going to win the football game and move on to the next week.
Last question before I let you go, Coach. You welcome in Franklin Central tonight. Coach Jason West, no stranger to success. He's won 3 state titles at his 2 different stops previously. What do they present to you challenge-wise, and where do you guys need to execute to start 2-0 now on the year?
Yeah, that's it's a great football team. I coached well. They got that program clicking, and they're getting better. They got better each week last year, and they had a great scrimmage against, their first 2 weeks have been against good football teams, and, they run a defense that not everybody runs. They do some stuff offensively that you just don't see every week. So just getting our guys, when we game plan and we talk through the summer, we just want to be fundamentally sound. We want to be physical, and we want to make sure we're alignment and sign. So those things we focus on. We focus on ourselves, and that's been our motto through the thing. We're going to pride ourselves on getting better each day, every rep, every practice, and that's what we're going to do. Our ultimate goal is to win the game, and we're not going to overlook rivalries. Those are important for the guys in the stands and for people around, but we're just focusing on ourselves. We want to win the game. And our end of the season goal aligns with each week, and that's where we're going to go. We're going to be, like I said before, we're going to be the most fundamentally sound football team. We're going to be extremely physical, and that's all we can control. And we just want to get better. That's kind of where we stand.
Looking forward to seeing you and the man at Bob Tully Field tonight. Thanks again for making the time, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Jimmy. We'll see you.
That's
Flashes alongside Dan Bauer. I'm Jimmy Cook, the third member of our broadcast team. Dan Lauk will join us in this segment, but first we shift gears and look at tonight's matchup. And I bring Dan Bauer into the fray. Dan, you look at this FC team, they're looking for a finer tune, more up to Coach Jason West's standards this year as compared to last year, a 4-6 campaign. They had a dismantling of Perry Meridian a week ago. He's won state titles everywhere he's been. I'm not saying the expectation is there yet, but it will be, and it's building towards that Franklin Central.
Well, and they are a really big school with a lot of athletes, and he can get some of them out and do it. They can make some noise. Now, I mentioned last week during the game, the Hoosier Crossroads Conference is, I think, the toughest conference in the state. And last year, Franklin Central, although they ended 4-6, they did beat Zionsville. They beat Avon. They beat Noblesville. They also beat Perry Meridian. But those, Zionsville, Avon, and Noblesville are strong powerhouses that, when you're playing schools like that, now you got Brownsburg that's in that league. I mean, it's a tough conference. So you're week in, week out having to be at your best. And a 4-6 record, although it doesn't look great on paper, in that conference, it's actually pretty impressive because of the strength of it. But Jason West is a fantastic coach. They will improve every year, I promise. And it's going to be interesting today. Roncalli coming off the big win against Southport. Perry Meridian coming off a big win against Perry Meridian. Franklin Central coming off the win against Perry Meridian. Both teams and both coaches have to kind of keep the focus of the team, because when you come off the first week win that is as large as both of them were, again, we're talking, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids who can get a little overconfident, and you got to, keep that, keep them focused. And from the interview that we just listened to with Coach Quintana, sounds like he's well aware of that, and he's going to do that this week. But offensively, Roncalli, I think, obviously they proved that Hanson is the weapon. You don't want to overwork him, though, especially early in the year. So you really need to get Moyer's confidence built up and try to use that passing game. On the flip side of it, Perry Meridian, they had 144 yards passing. So, Southport didn't really challenge Roncalli in the passing game last week. It'll be a new challenge this week if Franklin Central tries to go through the air to challenge the defensive backs for Roncalli. And then defensively, Roncalli did a great job against Southport just swarming. They didn't have a first down until late in the game. They gave field possession, was always on the Roncalli side, so the offense didn't have many yards to go to get scores. That swarming defense, if you can play like that every game, it's going to really create havoc for your offense moving forward and scoring a lot, and problems for the other team, whoever it is, whether it's Franklin Central or Chittard or wherever the schedule takes us.
Flashes won the toss and choose to receive. Let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team. It's our very own Dan Lauk. Dan, how are you this evening on the sideline?
Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. Excellent. And talked to both coordinators before the game. Starting offensively, Coach Burton talked a lot about the athleticism of the Franklin Central linebackers specifically. And he talked a little bit about, as Dan mentioned, our quarterback, Moyers, wanting to get a little bit of, quick hits to start the game to get his rhythm going. Defensively, talked to Coach Lauk. He sees a very athletic Franklin Central side. They got returning starters in Gillard at the running back, Tudoro at the quarterback, so they can both pass it and throw it pretty effectively. So should be a really entertaining game on both sides of the ball.
We look forward to going down to Dan a number of times throughout the evening. Happy to have him along as third member of the broadcast team as of right now for select home games. Actually, all home games. I don't know why I said select, but hey, we'll have him wherever we need him. He's a man of many trades. Happy to have Dan Lauk along for the ride. Again, Franklin Central won the toss. They've chosen to receive. Royals in their home red jerseys, white numerals and lettering, and the blue trim. Flashes in their road whites, blue numerals and lettering, and the black trim. The Royals set to boot this away all-time series. Roncalli leads 28-13, 15-6 here in the friendly confines of Bob Tully Field. As Levi Whistler set to boot it deep. Jayon Harvey for Franklin Central, along with Andrew Lawrence, back to receive the kick. We are underway from Bob Tully Field, an end-over-ender taken by Lawrence at the 10-yard line to the 20 on the far left side. Makes him a miss to the 30, 35-40, one man to beat, and he's forced out of bounds. Great play there by Whistler to save what would have been an opening kick return for a touchdown, and the Flashes are in business on the Royals side of midfield. And it should be noted, at least by comparison, we expected an immediate jump in competition for the Royals from a week ago. Already the best field position anybody's had on Roncalli this season. Just in one kick return, and correction on that, they'll be on their side of midfield at the 45.
Yeah, that was a great they had a nice wall set up onto the side, put a alley in the middle, and he just hit the alley, and Roncalli didn't have anyone really there to tackle him.
Tutterow, play action, looks to pass, pressure coming, he's sacked. Swallowed up. Give the sack to Trevor Lauk. Lauk's first sack of the season for the future Hawkeye. That'll make it 2nd and 19, flipping the game script early.
And that's 6'7", 290 pounds of sack. That
It's
doesn't
tough.
feel good on a quarterback
No, it
to
does
start
not.
the game.
It's a great point. Be 2nd and 19 from the 36. One wide receiver to the left, one to the right. It's a handoff up the middle. Taken by Gillard. He'll gain about 4 and set up 3rd and long. Gillard, 46 yards on the ground last week, also involved in the passing game.
I was just going to say, Brady New did a great job that time. He was in the right tackle position. He just followed his block down the field and was able to, corral the running back there. Really nice play by the defense.
3rd and 16 from the Flash zone 39. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right, 1 man in the backfield. Tutterow takes the snap, looks left, quick pass right at the initial line of scrimmage marker. Make that the initial starting drive marker, I should say. And he's deep cleated right away, so a quick 3 and out for the Royals. All set up despite that epic return to open the ball game by the Flashes. Thanks to Trevor Lauk on the sack to set all that up. You like that hit there?
I did. Judson Lloyd came up from the corner position, really nice shoulder-to-shoulder hit, knocked the ball loose. Looked like it was going to be a caught ball, but he comes up and makes a nice hit on him and dislodges that ball.
Zach Nashon set to boot it away. Andrew Ball back to receive the punt. Nice high end number taken at the 25-yard line and immediately brought down, a gain of a couple on the punt return. We'll call it the 29. About a 3-yard return there for Ball. Great special teams coverage by the Flashes, and we'll get our first look at home of these Roncalli Royals. A record-setting outing last week at Southport. Luke Hansen, 335 yards on the ground, set a school record. Broke the mark by the great Marcus Nally. That's set in September of 2002. Does that mean he's going to average 330 a game? No, I wouldn't take that bet to the bank, folks. Coach Quintana's made it clear he wants this to be a balanced attack, though. It is a nice luxury to have when you have one of the best backs in the state. 1st and 10 from their own 30. 1 wide receiver to the far right side, 1 in the slot. Moyers in the gun with Hansen to his left. 10 minutes even to go in this first quarter. They send a man in motion. It's Coughlin. Handoff is to Hansen, and he'll get the left side for a couple. Good read there defensively by the Flashes. In on the tackle was Demetrius Dillard, the junior. And actually, they'll lose a yard after the dust is cleared. They'll call it 2nd and 11.
Well, and Coach mentioned in his pregame talking about wanting that first series that he was unhappy with. You'd like to see this team come out kind of fired up to this first series. First play wasn't necessarily fired up, I'd call.
1 wide receiver to the right, 1 to the slot. They put Coughlin in motion. Once again, it's a handoff to Hansen up the middle. He hurdles 1 man, and he's, after a gain of 3, pushed backwards by Drew Lawrence. And that was the safety playing up with the linebackers for that. So clearly aware that if they're going to stop Hansen, they have to get it done at the first level, Dan.
Yes, no question.
Be 3rd and 5. Gain of 6 for Hansen.
Flashes do run like a 3-4 defense, or a 3-5-5 stack type look. Right now they've got a guy up tight, making it look like a 3-5, but I think it's a 3-4 in general. 2
wide receivers to the right, none to the left. Moyers in the gun, 3rd and 5 from the Royals 35. Play action, looks right, fires over the middle, and incomplete. Bobbled initially. It hit Coughlin in the hands, coming across the field, and he could not corral it. Great defense by the Flashes after the initial contact made with the ball. And the Royals will be forced to punt.
Tell you what, it was a really nice throw by Moyers, though. He did a good job.
There was confidence there, Dan.
There was. He did a great job setting his feet. Put the ball right on target, just like you say, Jimmy. Just juggled it at the point of catch, and defender was right on it to make sure he didn't catch it.
Good snap. Whistler has it away. That's a high skying punt that's taken at the 20. No initial pressure, and now it's finally brought down. A north and south gain of about 4. A lot of dancing going on that return. Royals were fooled initially, but able to swallow them up at the 23-yard line. So that's where the Flashes will start their second drive of the night. 8:31 left to go in this first quarter. Scoreless, Roncalli and Franklin Central. Reminder, if you'd like to have a shout-out during the broadcast, you can send me a tweet at @TheJCook
I got
or text
one
Dan.
Papa
Dan already
Hill.
has one. We'll get to it in a minute.
Will do.
Hand off to the left side is a gain of a couple. On the carry was Gillard. Strangely enough, only 2 touchdowns on the ground for the Flashes last week. Most of those you would assume in goal line situations. Brian Hoskins, third man on the depth chart, 4 carries, 2 yards, 2 touchdowns. 2nd and 8 from the Flashes' own 25. Royals show 5 on the line. Handoff up the middle to Gillard. He is met with a wall, keeps the legs churning, gains about 2, maybe 3. And I'll bring up third down. Third and manageable this time, though, for the Flashes.
Flashes come up to the line of scrimmage with a shotgun set with guys on each side of them. Kind of it looks like almost like a T, old-fashioned T formation. They'll put a guy in motion, try to get the defense shifting, and then they'll run the back to the strong side or the weak side, so they can run both ways. But it's kind of a simple offense by look, but they can do a lot of stuff out of it.
3rd and 5 from the 28. Tutterow takes the snap, rolls left, looking, pressure coming. He's going to run for it with his feet. He's going to have the first down and gets out of bounds in time, but there is some laundry looking like the area for holding, much to the dismay of Flash's faithful in attendance. It is a hold, and that'll walk things back. Oftentimes, particularly at this level, when you have a quarterback scramble and roll out like that, unless it's by design, it's very easy for the linemen in the trenches, particularly with one as sizable up front as the Roncalli defense is, to be forced to hold.
Well, especially when you got a corner and Roncalli plays pretty disciplined defense. You got a guy on the edge that's his job is to keep containment, and when that quarterback rolls out, that lineman has a choice. Oh, it looks like he's going to be a little faster than me. I like to reach out and hold and not let him get there. And that time, it was a pretty easy call.
So it went from 3rd and 5 to 3rd and 19. Ball on the Flashes' 14-yard line. 4 down linemen for the Royals this time. 1 wide receiver to the left, 2 to the right for the Flashes. A running back on either side. Tutterow takes the snap. Pressure coming. It's a screen. Gives the Gillard to the 20, to the 25, 30. He's right back at the initial first down marker. Or initial scrimmage marker, rather. So to bring up 4th and about 10. And the Flashes will once again be forced to punt. So similar start to what we saw a week ago. Both defenses, even though, again, we've established Franklin Central body of work and talent on paper better than Southport, but same thing we saw to start the game last week. Punt, punt, punt. Royals able to put together a scoring drive the next time they got the ball. We'll see if they're able to do so here. 4th and 10 from the Flashes' 23. Ball once again set to receive the punt from Nashons. Good snap. Pressure almost there, nearly blocked. It's a sidewinder that's taken at the 40 by Baugh. He makes the first man miss to the 45, and then he's brought down by a trio of Flash's tacklers. Return of about 6 there by Baugh. Another solid starting field position for the Royals here, drive number 2. Dan, let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Dan Lau. Dan, what'd you like from that first drive from the Royals?
Yeah, so far so good from the defense, playing really stout up front. You're seeing a lot of different things from Franklin Central so far as as formations go, but our defense has reacted well. Really nice job on the edge there to get the holding call, ripping through some blocks.
Thank you, Dan. 1st and 10 from the 46. 6:02 left to go in this first quarter. We're scoreless. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Handoff is to Hanson. He tries the right side, cuts back in the middle, spins, and he's initially swallowed up, but it just shows you the strength of Luke Hanson. Most running backs, he would have been dead to rights for no gain, able to turn that into 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, he did a great job spinning off the first tackle.
Make it 2 yards, correction.
To Franklin Central's credit, they're doing a great job of, the Roncalli runs a zone package where, they're bringing all the line one way. You don't want to. You can have a tendency to overrun it defensively. Yep. They're being aggressive to the front side of it, but they're slow to the back side, so that they can have somebody and a helmet on the point of contact, depending on where the running back chooses to run.
2 wide receivers to the left for Moyers. Hansen to his left. Flashes so blitz. 2nd and 8 from the 48. Play action. Pump fake. Moyers fires over the middle. Pass interference will be the call. Flag in place. He was intended for Coughlin. And Flash's defense all over him.
Well, again, another great job by Moyers, showing that he's learned a lot from game 1. And he steps up there. He initially went to throw it. Gave it a pump. Lane wasn't there.
Right.
He held on to it, didn't overthrow it, so the ball pops out of his hands. Just kind of was patient, waited for him to get open, then threw the ball, and it caused that defensive back to. Then there was the slightest separation. He reached out and grabbed him because he knew he was beat.
So we'll get the penalty yardage added up. And the Royals will set up shop at the 36-yard line, 37-yard line, I beg your pardon. So 1st and 10 for Roncalli from the Flash's 37. First time in Flash's territory tonight. 3 wide receivers to the left, none to the right. Moyers has Hansen to his left. 5:13 to go in this first quarter. Initially a hard count by Moyers. Now he looks over to the sideline. Changes the play at the line. Hansen now switches over directly behind Moyers. Hard count, handoff Hansen. Right up the middle, he's swallowed up, thrown forward for a gain of about 3. Bring up 2nd down.
Last week we saw Roncalli's offensive line really being aggressive off the ball and beating Southport to the point of attack. Right now, Franklin Central is really watching the ball well, and Roncalli's kind of sitting in the hunches a little bit, so they're kind of stalemating that line of scrimmage, at least early.
We got 2:20, 2:30, and 2:15 with the 3 down linemen they usually operate with for Franklin Central. Play action. Moyers looks, fires left side, has a man, it's caught, incomplete. Broken up late, secondary hit. Applied there, I believe it was Javen Harvey. It was intended for Coughlin. But it falls incomplete. So it'll be 3rd and 7. Royals making some late adjustments here with substitutions. 3rd and 7 from the Roncalli 34.
Jimmy, it was a little weird. They had Christian Sweezy in there also. Both guys are right in the same spot. You wonder if one of them didn't run the wrong route. Yep. It looked to me like it was supposed to go to Sweezy, but might have been thrown behind him a little bit, but ended up having a chance to catch it.
Moyers takes a snap, looks right. Quick pass is short of the line to gain. It was caught successfully by Coughlin for a gain of about 5. So it'll be 4th and 2 and decision time for the Royals. Clarification on a previous remark, it is 4th and about 3, actually, from the Flash's 29. Flash's 31, correction. Hard count by Moyers. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Play clock is at 20. Hansen on his left hip. Makes changes at the line. No pressure shown by the Flashes. Now they will bring pressure. Moyers looks, stands in, fires a high pass, incomplete. It was intended for Christian Sweezy, but it was a high pass out of his hands and a turnover on downs for the Royals. Would look like you would have had him for the first down, just sailed it a tad bit.
He had it open, and it came out of his hands that way. You almost wonder if it, a little muggy down there a little bit, a little sweat on the hand, and it just, it came out high with the nose going up a little bit, and when the nose comes out high, then that ball's going to go high. And there was a receiver there, so it's missed opportunity for the Royals.
Like the decision to go for it, but it does result in a turnover on downs. Tutterow gives a little play action and then a pass to the left side. It's a screen for a gain of 3. That caught by Braylon Gillard. Gillard they utilize both as a running back and as a pass-catching back. He had 20 carries a week ago, but 3 catches for 44 yards. Average about 14 yards per catch. Caught a touchdown pass as well. They like to utilize their backs in a number of different ways. It'll be 2nd and 7 from their own 34-yard line. A wide receiver to the left, 1 to the right. 2 running backs on either side of Tutterow. High snap, gives it to Gillard. Up the middle, and he's got space through the initial penetration. Brings up 3rd and 2. Called a gain of 5.
Now, with that set, when you got the 2 running backs on each side of the quarterback, when they run, and that time the right back, went to the left, they could use that one as a fullback and put him up into the point of attack, giving you an extra blocker. That's what they did last time.
3rd and 2 from the Flash zone, 39. Royals looking for a stop here on 3rd down. One wide receiver to the left, one to the right. Again, that T formation like we mentioned. A running back on either side of Tutterow. Takes the snap. Hands off to Gillard. Up the middle, full head of steam. It looks like he has enough for the first down. He'll move the chains.
Yeah, he had a full steam ahead there. That was a solid run right at the middle. Roncalli did a good job of defending it. It was just too short of yards there to hold him up. And Franklin Central gets what they need for the first down.
First down of the game for the Flashes. Still on their side of midfield, ball on the 42-yard line. One wide receiver to the left, two to the right with less than 3 minutes to play in this first quarter. Royals show blitz. Play. I know it's a handoff to the left side, and there's space near the first down marker. It will be enough for the first down marker. Frankie Markin on the carry.
Franklin Central had the perfect call. Roncalli came. It looked like Brandenburg coming from the left side on a blitz, outside linebacker blitz, and if they were coming your way, you're going to blow it up. As they ran the other direction, Roncalli had shifted because of that guy, and it made a nice little hole for him to get another first down.
So Flashes past midfield for the first time this evening. 1st and 10 from the 48. Tutterow takes the snap. Handoff up the middle to Gillard. He was unable to get to the second level, but he fell forward for a gain of 3. Bring up second down. Early on, Dan, at least in terms of those straight up the middle carries, Flash is getting some big wins in the trenches, creating those holes for Gillard.
I was going to say, yeah, Franklin Central's doing a really good job up front right now, kind of controlling. They're not blowing Roncalli off the ball. They're just creating some seams. Their two running backs are doing a really good job of just kind of picking where they need to go and moving the ball up the field.
2nd and 7. Handoff this time is to Marquin. Tries to get the left side, attempts to power through, but he's tackled after the initial gain of about a yard. We'll call it 3rd and 6. Less than 2 minutes left in this first quarter. Still scoreless between Roncalli and Franklin Central. Jimmy Cook alongside Dan Bauer. Dan Live, the 3rd member of our broadcast team. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Roncalli Media Network, or if you're watching on the Roncalli YouTube page. Running backs on either side of Tutterow. It's Gillard and Marquin. One wide receiver to the left, two to the right. Sends a man in motion. It's Marquin. Fires a long pass, a slant to the right side, but overshot his intended receiver. That was Swanigan. He got a paw on it, but could not reel it in, and it'll be 4th down. Flash is once again forced to punt.
He ran a real nice route. He came from the outside and then kind of a late, draw towards the
like a post almost.
Post, yeah.
Yep.
And he sat right in between the safety and the corner. So, tough throw because you're sitting in between two defenders. But there was enough space in it. If he, just brings it down a little bit, that would have been a nice pickup.
Nashon sent to punt it away. Ball stands at about the 5-yard line. It's a fake. And they have the first down. Came close to it, but it was a fake directly snapped to Nashon's. It was one of those, Dan, where before it happened, I guess we'll have to wait for the marker. Let's see. I thought he had the line to gain, but the officials say no. He was short. So the gamble does not pay off, and the Flashes turn it over on downs. From our vantage point, I thought he was going to have it.
I did too.
And the officials clarify it is indeed a yard short.
His body ended up on the other side of the stick.
Yep.
But now they stick is back about 2 yards from where the out-of-bounds marker is.
Yep.
So if you're running the ball and not paying attention to that, you think you're going towards that stick,
Make
but
sure
you're
you get
out
the ball
of bounds
across.
before.
Yep, it's a great point. So it'll be a turnover on downs. I was going to mention beforehand, do you look for a fake here, but thought, at first quarter.
Oh, I was going to say definitely.
You would agree? Okay, all right, that's good.
It's easy to say that
Captain
now.
and Lieutenant Hindsight here with 1:13 to go in the first quarter. 1st and 10 from the 39. Moyers fires a high pass to the left side. Incomplete. It was a crossing route intended for Charlie Elsner. Fell short. Be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I think we may have complimented Mr. Morris just a little early because he had some really nice early throws.
Right.
And then these last 2 throws, he's kind of leaving his shoulders open, and he's not pulling it shut to bring that nose down and get that ball where it needs to go, kind of like a aiming it as a baseball pitcher.
2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 2nd and 10 from the Royals' own 39-yard line. Moyers has Hansen to his left, takes the snap, hands off to Hansen, and he is swallowed up, and a flag's going to come in late to boot. First indication to be holding, and it is holding on the Royals.
Yeah.
We will withhold criticism across the board, but I know particularly for you as a man of great pride in the trenches and this line being one of the best in the state, that's something you're not happy with if you're Coach Quintana.
No.
Adding the insult to the pressure that was allowed by the defense to move you back a couple yards.
You don't like that at all, but it's also part of the game.
Yes,
in today's
naturally.
game especially, you kind of teach it a little bit.
Yep.
And sometimes they call it, sometimes they don't. And one thing you got to adjust, I mean, these officials seem to be kind of, I don't want to call them flag happy for sure, but they're not afraid to pull the laundry out and throw it. There's been quite a few flags
2nd and 20 from the 29. It's a quick screen to Coughlin. He catches it at 35, and he's met with authority by Wyatt Penny. The 200-pound senior makes the stop, and now it's 3rd and forever. 3rd and 20 from the Royals' own 29-yard line. You figure that screen was ideally to set you up to cut this in half maybe and make it 4th and more manageable.
Yep.
But it goes nowhere.
Well, on an outside-in route, it looked good at the early thing. But this Wyatt Penny, I watched him on film, man, he is everywhere.
Yep.
Not a huge presence physically, but he just gets to the ball. He's just a headhunter.
3rd and 20 from the 29-yard line. Moyers looks, fires left side near the sideline. They're just going to dump it off and hope that Elsner can make some plays. He could not. He got it to about the original line of scrimmage.
Roncalli's going to get another holding call here. So.
Oh, well, good eye on you. I see the laundry now that you pointed out, and this will make this a heck of a punt for Levi Whistler. Thankfully,
well, it's a
one of the best punts in the state.
Decision for Franklin Central whether they take it or do they, you would assume that they would punt it, but if they take it, it's going to put Roncalli way back. It'll give them another down. But, yeah, it's from the spot of the hold, which was back on the 20-yard line, which is going to take them back about half the distance. Well, it'll take it all the way to the 10.
Yep.
And that makes it 4th and 6 country miles. Or third and.
Yep.
Sorry, 3rd and.
So it'll be 3rd and 39 with 7 seconds to go in the quarter. Royals on their own 10-yard line.
And really you need to try to get half the distance just to give your punter a chance.
Yep. 2 wide receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Moyers in the gun. Hansen on his right hip. Takes the snap. Flashes bring pressure, and Moyers is sacked. Right up the middle. Sack is made by Demetrius Dillard. The junior swallows up Moyers, and now it's 4th and forever.
Yeah. That doesn't cut half the distance down. And you're going to have your punters in the end zone.
That'll mercifully end our first quarter of play. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Welcome back to Roncalli Royals football. 12 minutes to go, start of the second quarter. 4th and 42 officially for the Royals from their own 7. As they set to punt it away. Good snap. The Flashes bring the house. They're unable to block it. It gets to the 45-yard line, and a fair catch is called.
But they took Whistler down. So.
And they did take Whistler down, and there's laundry there as well. Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Automatic first down for the Royals. So the Flashes rolled the dice. Flashes sideline is livid with that. They gambled. They would have had almost guaranteed good field position any way you spin it. Instead, they bring the pressure. And Roncalli lives to fight another day.
They do, and that's if you're
at least on this drive anyway.
Yeah, if you're Franklin Central, you've got to be talking to your players over there, going, "What the heck?" I mean, yes, you want that block because you got a chance to get a touchdown or at least a safety out of it, but let them kick it and take good field position.
Right.
Don't give the ball back to Roncalli with a mistake like that. That is a huge error by Franklin Central, and one we'll have to kind of put a little asterisk on and see how that plays out after this.
Send it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Dan Lauk. Dan, what'd you think of the pressure applied, the decision there?
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. I'm sure the Franklin Central coaches aren't happy, but to nobody's surprise, the Franklin Central defense is putting 8 in the box on almost every play, so we're going to have to complete some passes here.
Thank you, Dan. 1st and 10 from the Royals 22 after the penalty yardage. They get a break there. Let's see if they can capitalize. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Play action. Handoff. It's a high slant, incomplete. Pressure applied immediately to Moyers. Had he caught the ball, he would have been deep cleated. As on the coverage there was Lauren Johnson, the junior. It'll be 2nd down.
Franklin Central's just all over the place.
Yep.
I mean, they're really playing really strong defense right now. They got like a solid front, good linebacker play, and the DBs aren't giving him anything as far as getting passes in there. So.
Second and 10 from the Royals 22. 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Moyers takes the snap, handoff to Hansen, tries to find the right side. He'll gain about 4 before he's brought down, so it'll set up about 3rd and 6 for the Royals. Three wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right for Moyers. He has Hansen to his left side, 3 down linemen for the Flashes. Moyers takes the snap, looks, late pressure coming, fires over the middle, and incomplete, but there was coverage there. Is there a flag? There is a flag. Looked like a collision between the Flashes and the intended target, Joshua Harbers, and it will be PI. So regrettably for the Royals offense, though they will take it, their biggest plays tonight have been the Flashes shooting themselves in the foot.
Yes. I guess
they'll take that. That's the name of the game. But
yes, but it evens out the shooting of their own foot.
Correct.
With the holding calls and the sacks.
Correct.
So I guess it's kind of I'll call it bad football right now on both sides of the ball.
6 penalties for 61 yards called against the Flashes a week ago. 1st and 10 from the Royals' own 41, 11-14 to go in this second quarter. We're scoreless between Roncalli and FC. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Hansen on the right hip of Moyers. Takes the snap, hands off to Hansen. Hesitates initially, spins and keeps the legs churning for a gain of about 4. Bring up 2nd down.
Luke's working hard for these short yard gains. It looked like there was a little section of light they thought he might break it, but and it's a testament to Franklin Central. They're not giving up. Their footwork's going. They're going strong. They are swarming around the tackle. 2nd and 7 from the 44. Moyers looked left, now fires over the middle. More contact past 5 yards. This time the laundry stays in the officials' pockets, and it'll be 3rd down. The 5-yard rule is not in high school.
It's not. You're right. That's my bad.
But when the ball is in the air, you can't make contact with the receiver, and he clearly made contact with it. And it looked to me like the side judge down there saw it, and his hand was trying to find a flag and couldn't find it, so he pulled it out and acted like he wasn't going to do it. But that was, I think, a missed call. So
3rd and 7, 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Moyer steps back in the gun. Pressure coming. He is feeling it and is swarmed. Swarmed and sacked. Give it a dual sack by Julius Parker and Elijah Cox. 4th down again for the Royals. The Flashes defense coming to play tonight. And another punt for Roncalli. their third punt of the night. One was a roughing the punter. So technically second official punt of the night for the Royals. It's been a punt, turnover on downs. This drive extended due to a roughing the punter, and now officially a punt. Good snap. Whistler gets it away. High sidewinder, taken all the way at the 20, and the coverage is there.
Nice tackle.
Great special teams tackle. Play is made by Judson Lowry. Great special teams play there by the Royals. 9:52 left to go in this first half. We're still scoreless here at Bob Tully Field. Thanks so much for joining us on this Friday evening. Flashes come back out. A punt, and a turnover on downs to their name.
I started to give a shout out. Grandpa Hillen is watching from the Hermitage this night, while Grandma Hillen is watching from home. So they got everybody watching.
There you go. 1st and 10 from the Flashes' own 18. Plenty of time for Tutterow, and he's going to be swallowed up and taken down
There he is.
for a sack.
That was J.J. Prendergast that got the sack on him. He did a great job coming from his outside linebacker position, keeping him contained to the outside and coming down and just crossing the face of the blocker and making a nice tackle. That was your backup quarterback last year, playing on defense this year.
Third sack of the season for Pendergast. Be 2nd and 11, loss of 1 in the play. Flashes break the huddle with 9:20 to go in this first half. All knotted up, 0-0. Still a deadlock. Tutterow, 2 wide receivers on either side of him. Gillard to his left. Sends a man in motion and lost the ball. Ball's up for grabs. The Royals have it. Let's see.
No.
They do not. Tutterow able to fall on it and recover it. I believe it was Johnny Jaffe right there. To try to scoop it up, but it's a loss of 4, and it's 3rd and 15 for the Flashes. You bring any pressure here, Dan? Fall on 13?
A little bit, but I don't think you have to bring the house.
Okay.
For sure. I think you make sure you get everybody covered because I think we're getting pretty good pressure on just the front 3 or 4 guys when they come.
3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Tutterow in the gun. 3rd and 15 from the 13. Pressure coming. Airs a fade route down the left sideline. Incomplete. No flags. And the Flashes will send the punting unit back out there.
Roncalli had really nice. They had a little twist action on the right side, and then they brought a linebacker from the looked like it was Brandenburg coming up the middle there where they took the defensive tackle to the outside, really made a nice seam for him. So he put pressure on the quarterback to get that ball out quickly. And, it was a decent route, but the ball had to come out so quickly that it was, didn't have really a chance to be caught.
So punt, turnover on downs. Sorry, punt, turnover on downs, punt for the Flashes here tonight. Ball stands at about the 49-yard line. Sidewinder to the left, taken by Ball at the 45, and he's deep cleated. Great special teams coverage. Wyatt Penny there again. Correction, make that number 43, Caden Logue. There on the coverage. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Royals at the 43-yard line. You had offense a week ago. You knew the competition was going to be more stiff here tonight, but it's been a defensive showdown between these two Southside rivals.
And there hasn't been a
15
lot of
minutes separating them at most.
Inside the other opponent's part of the field, so Roncalli really needs to take advantage of the short field that they've got here.
1 wide receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Moyers in the gun, Hanson to his right.
Nope.
Sends double motion. Handoff is to Hanson.
Do double motion.
Flags fly.
That's the problem.
You see the resting Cobra hands on the head of both receivers.
Well, and you would like to think, okay, that's a big screw up. When you're looking across, they're both running to each other. One of them might stop and get set.
Yep.
And the quarterback might see it and say, hey, don't snap the ball yet. But that was, easy one for, I think, about all the refs threw out flags on that one.
They were both locked in and dedicated to the
right.
play.
Exactly.
They're ready to roll.
Yes.
So after the penalty yardage, it'll be 1st and 15 from about midfield. Call it the Flashes 48. 1 wide receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Hansen to the left side of Moyers. Handoff is to Hansen. Up the middle. Makes a first man miss. Gets the penalty yardage nearly all the way back. Carrying Flashes with him from left to right. We'll call it second and about 11.
Looked like he ran with a little anger that time. I like it.
We might need that kind of ferocity.
I'm trying to think, can you double motion even in Canada? I know you can do some crazy stuff with their motion and heading towards the line of scrimmage up there, but I don't even know if you can have.
I know you can have a triple reverse, but that's after the ball is snapped. So you're not worried about. Yeah,
you can do that anywhere.
Yep. Handoff up the middle to Hansen to the left side. His best game of the night. It's a game of about 7. It'll set up third and very manageable. Call it third and short.
One thing that's a little different this year, and Roncalli's getting up to the line of scrimmage quickly, so I'll let you take it from here.
3rd and 4 from the Flashes, 37. Give us to Hansen. Up the middle. He's trying to turn and reach for the first down yard. He's going to be about a yard or two short. Given the way the Royals, at least in this early tenure, like to go with Coach Quintana, I think they're going to go for it here.
Yeah, I do too. I was going to say that, Roncalli, one thing they did different last year is they would swap the offensive linemen, get a power set, come up with some jumbo packages and stuff. So far this year, now it's not, can't say they do it, we'll do it later, but so far they've kind of, if you're the left tackle, you're going to stay at left tackle, right side's going to stay at right side, and they just get up and run.
2 wide receivers to the right, none to the left. Moyers in the gun, 4th and 2 from the Flashes, 35. Hansen directly behind him. Takes the snap. Give us to Hansen. Up the middle. I don't think he got there. Flashes defense holds yet again.
Now, I talked about the jumbo package. They brought Luke Swartz in, defensive lineman, about 300 pounds, put him at the defensive or offensive end on the left side, trying to create a jumbo package. Ran right behind that side, and they got no push at all, and then fell short of the first down. So,
second turnover on downs of the evening for the Royals. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 35. Own 35 of the Flashes with 6:14 to play, still scoreless in this first half. Handoff is to Gilbert, right up the middle. Huge gain of about 7. We say huge gain just because of the lack thereof throughout this evening. Not a ton of big gain plays. It'll be 2nd and 3 from the 42. Flashes hurrying a little bit here. Handoff is to Gilbert, right up the middle. He cuts back to the outside, swallowed up. Might have lost a yard on the play. Be 3rd down. Ball makes the tackle. 5:37 left to go and counting in this first half. Be 3rd and 2 from the Flashes' 43-yard line. Just 2 first downs for the Flashes, only 3 for the Royals. 1 wide receiver on either side, running backs to either side of Tudorow. Give us a Gilbert to the right side. Hole is not there, nowhere to be found. Royals defense wins that battle, call it a loss of 2. It'll be 4th down for the Flashes.
Somehow, I think they're marking it out the line of scrimmage. I don't know how, because that was definitely 2 yards short, but still going to be 4th and about 2.
Forward progress, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, but I didn't see him get forward that far.
Well, they'll send the punting unit out, but it should be noted, would they dare do it again? They did run a fake punt already once. Granted, that was a little bit closer to midfield than they are right now. This is at their own 43. That was at the Roncalli 45. Notice anything different coverage-wise for the Royals in terms of preparing for that?
I don't think they even come close to trying to fake it here.
Punt is away. It's a end-over-ender. Fair catch called for the 25.
Oh, we've not seen ball do a fair catch before, have we?
No. First one of the season. Good eye on you.
I was kind of thinking they might have taken that out of their repertoire. Said, nope, you don't get to do that. Although that last time he came up and caught it and got dropped right away. It's, when you have that green light to catch those anywhere and those defenses all over you, there's chances for fumbling.
We're going to stay here due to the lack of natural breaks. We will let our sponsors and listeners know that it'll be a little longer break into halftime with the way this first half has flowed. No natural breaks because no scores to show of. 0-0, 4:30 to play in the first half. 1st and 10 from the Royals' own 27. 1 wide receiver to the left, 1 to the right. Hansen to the backfield. Handoff is to Hansen. Up the middle. He's got initial window before he's brought down. Gain of about 3. Tackle made by Stephen Carey, the sophomore. It'll be 2nd and 6. Called a gain of 4 for Hansen. Luke, 11 carries, 34 yards. Average of 3 yards a carry. You knew his 12.9 yards per carry wasn't going to last long, but
no, he hasn't had a lot of windows.
He's not had any windows, hardly. You're exactly right. Moyers looks to the right side for direction now. Changes the play at the line. 2 wide receivers to the right, none to the left. Play action. Moyers looking, pressure coming, takes a shot over the middle. Pass interference, the call. Taken out while trying to find the ball was James Guthrie. And you can give credit where credit is due to how the Flashes seem defensively to be everywhere, Dan, but in terms of matches up in the secondary, matchups in the secondary, I beg your pardon, been a lot of laundry tonight.
There has been a ton of laundry. And
it's a hold, not a pass interference, just for clarification.
Okay. He basically tackled him.
Yep.
Still going to be a first down, obviously.
Yep.
But
hold, tackle, same thing.
Yeah. Right. It's just all how you define it and look at it.
Well, thank you for joining us on the Roncalli Media Network this evening. If you were expecting another Luke Hansen record performance and didn't think that we'd have a defensive rock fight, I got bad news for you.
It doesn't seem like 10-yard mark off there.
Doesn't either.
Did they mark it right?
They believe so. 1st and 10 from the Royals' own 41. Wide receiver on either side. Play action. Moyers will roll out a designed run, and he'll gain about 4, maybe 5 on the play. Like quarterback option. Fake the handoff to Hansen. He thought he saw room to the left side.
Well, when he got up, he kind of gave a little, like, what the heck? So there might have been a broken play. I'm thinking that, he's got a leg brace and kind of I'm going to call it a gimpy run. I don't know if Coach Quintana designs a run play for him very often.
Yep.
But I think that might have been a broken play somehow.
Well, it'll be a gain of 4 for him. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2nd and 6 from the Royals' own 45. Hansen to the right hip of Moyers. Takes the snap. Hand off to Hansen, trying to find the edge, and he has it. Spinning towards the first down. He's got it.
Nice finish.
6 yards and a first down for Luke Hansen. It'll move the chains and keep the Roncalli drive rolling with 2:40 to play in this first half.
And the speed that we saw last week going north and south, Hansen did a great job of getting to the sidelines, getting past the contained guy, and then cutting it up, and then just out-bullying 3 or 4 tacklers to make sure he got that first down.
Officials' time, it's listed as 3rd and 1 as things stand.
I got a guy down on the –
and there is a Flashes injury as well.
Shoe issue, maybe.
Good call. Good call. So Franklin Central Flashes right on the far sideline. Given the lack of athletic trainers out there, I think you're right. I think it is just an equipment issue with the shoe, and he has it tied and appears to be ready to go. But either way, they mark Hansen a yard short, so correction on that. No first down on the play. It's 3rd and 1.
Well, they did make him sit out because they called time. So regardless of whether it was an injury or a shoe, he has to sit out one play.
3rd and 1 from the Royals 50 with 2:50 to go in 2:30 to go, I beg your pardon, in this first half. 2 wide receivers to the right, Hansen in the backfield. Handoff is to Hansen. Full head of speed. He's got the first down and more. Gain of about 6. It'll move the chains and put the Royals into Flashes territory.
A lot of times you'll see when they have a corner change like that last minute when somebody's forced to go out, sometimes you might throw a little pass right to that guy just to try to take advantage of it. But obviously with 1 yard, you don't want to get too cute. You want to get that first down.
1st and 10 for the Flashes, 45. Play action, pressure coming. Moyers gets rid of it in a hurry. It's incomplete. He was lucky to even get it to a receiver. It was intended for Nolan Tunney.
Yeah, Julius Parker came on a beeline, and Moyers did a good job of seeing it and giving the receiver a chance. But the receiver, and was it Tunney that missed it? Just came too hot and fast. But you can't blame the quarterback for that one. He's got to get rid of the ball.
Luke Swartz in there on the line for the Royals on the 2nd and 10 from the 45. Moyers breaks the huddle with 10 on the play clock. 2 wide receivers to the right side. Hansen behind him. Play action. Moyers looks, fires over the middle, nearly intercepted. Jumping the route was Jayon Harvey. Had it in his hands. Falls incomplete.
I tell you what, that was an athletic move. He came, the receiver was underneath him. He came over and kind of around. Kind of dangerous because you can get a lot of contact where if you don't have body control.
Yep.
But he came all the way around and had his hands out there. That was close to an interception. Really athletic play.
That'll be 3rd and 10 from the Flash's 45-yard line. Royals 2 wide receivers to the left, 1 in the slot. It's Coughlin. Moyers takes the snap. Pressure around the edge. He's able to avoid it. Steps up in the pocket. Fire through across his body. Nearly picked off. A flag comes in late.
Down.
Who's it on, though? It's in the secondary of the Flashes, and it is a hold against the Flashes.
Ooh, their sideline's got to be really mad right now.
With 1:59 to go in this first half. Royals faithful love it. Flashes faithful, as you would expect with a Southside rivalry, a heavy crowd across the way.
And I have to be honest, I didn't see the hold, but I mean, they almost should have been an interception, which, because I didn't see the first part of it,
right.
A hold
Same.
could have
Same.
Allowed him to get that kind of position. The flag was poorly thrown, so it kind of ended up in the middle of nowhere, so you weren't really sure who he was calling it on, but I assumed that it had to be that target.
1st and 10 from the Flashes, 35 under 2 minutes to go in the first half. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Moyers has Hansen to his left, now none to the left. Play action. No, it's a give to Hansen up the middle, and he's swallowed up. The edge battle was won once again by the Flashes. It's Julius Parker around the edge for the tackle. No gain on the play.
Well, and he's the play before, he was one came over the edge and beat our tackle with some speed, and so Julius is coming to play right now. He's really carrying this defense of the Flashes. 2nd
and 10 from the Flashes 35. Not a ton of urgency right now for the Royals. Only 90 seconds to go. Should be noted they will receive the kickoff to start the second half. Now we have an official's timeout.
Blood, maybe?
Might be blood. Could be an equipment issue. Either way, Wyatt Penny, the senior, heads to the sideline to get looked at briefly, and they'll run without him, so he'll be out for a play. 1:25 to go in this first half. Royals on the Flashes 35. And now we'll have a Franklin Central timeout. I would assume they want to have Penny out there.
Yeah, he's good. You want him back in there if you can.
So we will take a break with them with 1:19 to go in this first half. Scoreless. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Born to immigrants, our family was very close.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
1:19 to go in this first half. Royals with the football, 2nd and 10 on the Flash's 35-yard line. While we have a second, some shout-outs. Tom and Teresa Weisenbach watching on YouTube down in Venice, Florida. Thanks for watching, guys. Larry Stimson watching on TV. Kyle O'Connor watching live from the mean streets of Carmel. Appreciate all of you Royals faithful watching or listening wherever you may be this evening. 2nd and 10 from the Flashes 35. 3 wide receivers bunched to the right for Roncalli, 1 to the left. Moyers takes the snap, drops back to pass, looks right, pressure coming, makes the man miss, fires in the flat. It's caught at the 35 to the 30, 25, 20, 15, finally shoved out of bounds with some force. Christian Swayze with the reception and the big gainer. Biggest offensive play easily for either team tonight. And it'll be 1st and 10 from the Flashes 12 with 1:09 to go.
He was part of that trips bunch, and they all ran down. He kind of reversed field and came back as the quarterback kind of went started to rush and roll out after he avoided the sack and made a nice play.
3 wide receivers bunched to the left side this time, 1 to the right. Hansen to the left of Moyers. First time in the red zone for the Royals tonight. First and 10 from the Flashes, 12. Play action. Look is left. It's a bubble screen. Initially blown up, but Coughlin able to get out of it to the left before he's finally brought down after a gain of 4, maybe 5 on the play. We'll wait for the official mark. He did get out of bounds. I think it's going to be 2nd and 5. 2nd and 6, they'll call it from the 8. 1 wide receiver to the left, 3 wide receivers bunched to the right. 1:01 to play in this first half. Hand off to Hansen up the middle, makes one man miss, keeps the leg going backwards before he's finally brought down. He'll gain about 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 3 from the 5 with 45 seconds to play in this first half. And I believe the Royals are going to use a timeout to talk about it.
Yep.
We have utilized our breaks and moved them to the halftime show. So for technical reasons, we will stay here. Let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Dan Lauk. Dan, this drive progressed very nicely for the Royals. What have you seen?
Yeah, well, you guys mentioned it earlier. Franklin Central's putting a lot of guys in the box, and the only way to get them to stop doing that is to either run the quarterback, as we saw the Royals try, or be able to throw the football effectively, and they're finally able to do that on that drive. It only takes 1 or 2 completions to loosen up the defense, and then hopefully we can get the run game going again.
Thank you, Dan. We'll involve Dan relatively heavily in our halftime shows. We open it up to a 3-man team, and of course he'll have a post-game conversation with Royals head coach Eric Quintana. Game reset for you, 46 seconds left to go in this first half. Royals with the ball, 3rd and 3 from the 5-yard line. Dan, how do you attack this with 2 timeouts still in your back pocket?
Well, as Dan pointed out, with them putting a lot of guys in the box, if they do that, then you try to hit the edges a little bit. Although you've got a big offensive line and a running back, you've got a minute left here. You've got 2 more timeouts, I believe, so you could, kind of take your time on getting a couple good runs in. You can get a first down. Obviously would give you 4 more downs if you need those, if there's enough time to put it in the end zone.
It'll be 3rd and 5 from the 5. 2 wide receivers to the right, none to the left. Moyers has Hansen to his left. Give us to Hansen. Up the middle, not to the left side. Flag flies in the area, what you would think it'd be holding.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you want if you're the Royals. It is holding. Now he'll try this again, but bump it back. Now you have to think this probably opens you up to a passing situation unless you're playing for 4-down territory and disregarding the 3, Dan.
Yes, obviously you
do get the ball at half, though, for that changes your philosophy on it.
No.
Okay.
No, you try to score here. But the good news out of this is it pulls the ball back, gives you a little bit more green space. You do have a bigger playbook.
Sure.
To your point, you can pass out of this. You can it has more space for Franklin Central to cover. But I would always take the ball at the 3-yard line over.
Of course.
The
3rd and 12 from the Flashes 14. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Moyers has Hansen in the backfield. Takes the snap. Did someone move earlier? Was it a false start? Let's see. It was a false start, say the Royals. Or say the officials, I should say, on the Royals. 2 back-to-back back-breaking penalties for Roncalli in the red zone.
I'm hearing a halftime speech right now in my head.
One you've heard before?
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
That is the 5th penalty.
Roncalli's taking a timeout here to talk things over. And
5th penalty on the Royals tonight for 47 yards. Conversely, 6 penalties, 79 yards on the Flashes. Well, coming up, we'll have our halftime show. Take a look at the first half numbers. Check where we would like to see adjustments on both sides. We'll talk to Dan Squared, Dan Lauk, Dan Bauer, get their thoughts on adjustments. Principal himself, Kevin Bonich, walking in the booth. Shout out to him. 3rd and 17. Again, assuming are you still operating underneath the thought this is 4-down territory, Dan?
Well, with 30 seconds, you may not get, and we got 1 timeout left. It's going to be close whether you can get 4 plays done in that time, but you try to score in 2.
Naturally.
You try to score in 2.
Yes. Yep.
And I think you've got to get Hansen to the outside somehow.
Yep.
I think that's what I would be trying to do. you've got your quarterback. He's been a little bit unsettling at times. So I don't know if I would put it in his hands at this point. You've got big linemen. You've got a running back. He's not been real successful going up the middle, so I would try to get him to the outside if you can. If they have like one of the forward pitches, he's on the right side, get him out in
Third and
space.
17 for the 19. Moyers takes the snap, flashes, bring a blitz, and he's going to be swallowed up. He'll throw it into the air. It's incomplete. There's a flag down right at Moyers' hip.
It's going to be another hold. Intentional grounding, they're going to call it?
That's what it looks like.
There was a...
The officials call intentional grounding. The Royals coaching staff not happy with it.
No, I mean, he's getting tossed down. There's the receiver out there, and then go right to him.
Right.
But as you're being swung around and you're trying to get it out there,
Yep.
you can't really call that. They did, so they can, but it's just not a very good call.
Well, now it's...
I'm sure Franklin Central thinks it's a great call, but...
I saw some clapping across the way. I won't lie to you. 3rd and 17 was the initial marking spot. They'll move this back now after the penalty yardage in place. And
it is a loss of down also.
It is, you're right. So now it's...
I don't think that matters, but although with 24 seconds. Oh, shoot. It's 4th down now.
Yep.
It definitely matters.
It'll be 4th down for the Royals. Moyers takes the snap. He sends everybody deep. Pump fakes, fires, end zone. It's incomplete. Back of the end zone. It took about 7 seconds off the clock, so 10 seconds remain in this first half. A nightmarish stretch there for the Royals after having the ball on the 8-yard line. Penalties.
Got it down to the
Push
3.
away. Put a 3, you're right.
At
you're
one
right.
point.
Yep.
And then backwards.
So the Flashes will have it with 10 seconds to go. Roncalli does receive the ball to start the second half. And it'll just be a kneel down for Franklin Central.
Well, and Franklin Central has to look at this as a kind of a win of a quarter because it's
particularly after that last stretch.
Yes, no question. Yes, they come in and their backs to the wall again, but they a couple times and they've come up, stepped up, and really shown that hey, we can play with these guys. So the 2 halftime conversations are going to be vastly different. And I would think Franklin Central comes out and says, all right, we got these guys. Now they haven't really threatened to score yet, but they've played some defense. And in a game like this, there's a lot of people who look at this and say, oh, Roncalli will kill him.
Yeah.
0-0, my friend.
And you talk about momentum, and we'll talk about this in the halftime show, but you talk about momentum all the time. One could argue, all right, reset things. Roncalli gets the ball to start the second half, but you go to the other side of the field and go to that locker room. They're on the doorstep.
Yeah.
They're on the doorstep taking the lead and getting the ball.
Yeah.
To start the second half, you turn them away.
As well as their defense has been playing,
Yep.
I want to give Roncalli the ball.
Right.
Force them to a 3-and-out punt. You get the ball at midfield, close to midfield. I'd take that over getting the ball first.
Yeah, I agree.
In this game, at least.
Sure. Well, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll have the halftime show. Get Dan Lauk and Dan Bauer's thoughts on first half action from Bob Tully Field. At the end of 2 quarters of play at the halftime break, we're scoreless in the Southside rivalry between Roncalli and Franklin Central. Stay with us. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Teacher, it was my scientific demonstrations that kept so many students after school. Most will say it was the electric ignition for cars that was my greatest contribution. But my wife would argue it was the invention of Freon refrigerant for air conditioning. I'm a pioneer, and my name is Charles Kettering. Find your calling at Marian University's new Witchker School of Engineering. Pioneers wanted.
This year for Walkathon, it is possible and encouraged to collect donations online. Doing so starts as simply as going to roncalli.org/walk. This will take you to the campaign homepage. As you scroll down the page, you should see some preset donation values. Choose your desired donation amount, then search for the student you would like to donate to. Fill in your information when prompted, and you're done.
Can have 24/7 emergency service. Call them today on A and Bartram, 317-889-9574.
The Roncalli High School Alumni Association is proud to support our current Royals in their athletic endeavors. If you'd like more information on how you can better support your alma mater, contact Director of Alumni Services Aaron Hommel at ahommel@roncalli.org or by phone at 787-8277, extension 242.
Search for top mortgage lender near me. JC Bank. Well, at least that was easy.
Finding your dream home or a contractor in this market can be time-consuming and frustrating. But with JC Bank, at least your lender search is over. For pre-quals or purchases, refis, or renovations, JC Bank has the products and personalized service that'll make you feel right at home. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Visit jcbank.com/top lender for details and special offers.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world. Our students possess the skills and intellect required of leaders. Come to Marian University, Indy's premier Catholic university, and let us help you find out what you're made of. You can apply for free today at marian.edu.
Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals!
The Roncalli High School Alumni Association is proud to support our current Royals in their athletic endeavors. If you'd like more information on how you can better support your alma mater, contact Director of Alumni Services Aaron Hommel at ahommel@roncalli.org or by phone at 787-8277, extension 242.
You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network. The halftime show has arrived. Let's go back up to the booth with Dan Bauer and the voice of the Royals, Jimmy Cook.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field on the south side of Indianapolis, the campus of Roncalli High School, alongside Dan Bauer and the third member of our broadcast team, Dan Lauk. I'm Jimmy Cook. Halftime is upon us. Lights, fireworks, and more a week ago. Record-setting times for Roncalli football. Tonight, a defensive rock fight, as it were. So I welcome in the two Dans. We'll start first with Dan Bauer. Dan, you mentioned the type of... You didn't mention specific verbiage, but you mentioned it's probably not a friendly halftime locker room on the Royals side of things. What did you see up here in terms of adjustments you'd like to see off the bat? Well, based on what the FC defense is giving Roncalli?
Well, I think you mentioned it might be hard to learn anything from last week's performance, and I think we have a lot to learn from that first half one. I mean, I think the first thing that you'd like to see is that offensive line got to step up. You got to create some holes, create some seams. You don't have to blow them off the ball, but you got to create some seams. You got to give your running back a chance. I think you got to talk to the quarterback a little bit. Moore's got to kind of bring the ball down a little bit, get a little bit more accurate. Again, a second start, so you can't ask the world out of him. But he threw the ball a couple nice early throws, a couple connected, not enough to get him going. Then threw a couple bad ones. I think that those bad ones then kind of played a head game with him a little bit. So I think you calm him down a little bit. But again, I think you put the pressure on the offensive line. And we got to get some movement going. And then defensively. Not a bad defensive effort. I mean, I don't think Franklin Central's really ever threatened to score. So I think you're pretty happy with the defense. Although penalties, holy cow, penalties on both sides of the ball. It's been an ugly game, and I think you talk them through it and say, okay, now let's start the game now. You got a half of football to play. Let's turn it around and make it a pretty football game. not what we're seeing so far.
You mentioned those penalties. For the Royals, the defense, clean slate for them. The penalties have all been on offense. 6 penalties for 52 yards committed by Roncalli. Conversely, exact opposite for Franklin Central. 1 penalty for 14 yards on offense, 5 penalties, 65 yards on defense. Bring in the third member of our broadcast team, and Dan Lauk. Dan, you've been in the business, you've been on the sidelines, you've been a coach. How frustrating can that be for an offense, particularly one that wants to move as smooth as Roncalli believes they can on a week-to-week basis?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely frustrating, and it's tough because, this is the third time mentioning it now, but when you've got a defense that's putting so many hats in the box, you try to do too much sometimes, and you end up grabbing and, going away from your techniques that you were taught early on. I think the positive for Roncalli, though, is that last drive. They started moving the ball pretty well. Dan mentioned, getting the offensive line going, creating some seams, and they were able to do that on that last drive. And I really think that was because of the pass completion that went for about 20 yards. You loosen up the defense just a little bit. You know what, Jimmy? I was reorganizing my daughter's room the other day. And there's a screw in the wall, and those screws that are just so hard to get started.
Yep.
I just couldn't get it out. But once you loosen it up just a little bit, it's a lot easier. And I think it's the same thing out here. If we could just loosen up their linebackers a little bit, get them on their heels a little bit, we'll be able to run the ball more effectively.
My wife usually handles all that, but I know what you're talking about. I'm just kidding.
Well, I want to ask you a question because I'm a lineman guy. So that completion you're talking about, to me, looked like almost a broken pass play. You brought the trips down underneath it. Pressure on the quarterback. The offensive line is not doing a great job of keeping him free. So you got a quarterback that's a little jittery back there, and you're letting the Franklin Central get pressure on him. He gets out of it and starts rolling. Great job by the receiver. I don't remember who it was now, but it's coming back to the ball to make the completion. We end up being wide open. But to me, I'm a little concerned if I'm the offensive receivers coach that my guys are not getting open wide enough on the regular first routes. That we don't want to wait. I know we like that you come off it and get open for the second option. But, again, that's another talking point with those guys, I think, that they've got to be a little bit more crisp on their first routes.
Yeah, no doubt. You're absolutely right. And I think you saw, the frustration that Coach Quintana ended up having with our passing game towards the end of the half there. He ran Eric Moyers. He's not a runner.
No. You think that was a called play?
It was a designed run.
Was it really?
It was definitely a designed run, and it was wide open. And, he's had injuries in the past, so he doesn't move as well as he probably would have pre-injury. But that's the other way to loosen up the defense, and so it's just going to take a little bit of patience, and we've got the talent up front. We saw what we could do last week. I think in the second half we'll be, getting the ball to start the half. We'll be in a good position to really, put a stamp on things and open up the run game.
When you look at the passing attack, I know you both kind of talked about it already, but I've talked to Coach that their objective, what they want to be able to do is have this as a balanced attack. You have Moyers as a first-year starter. The only way to simulate it is live action, but it's kind of an up and down of whether or not his confidence is there and whether or not he's a little bit jittery in the pocket or jittery with the decision making. Is the only way to fix that with time and with reps? Either one of you can.
Yeah, I think so. But this is going to sound crazy. I think Eric's played a pretty good first
I would
half.
agree too. Yeah.
With the pressure he's been under and the number of drop passes we've had, I thought he's played much better this game than he did against Southport. And I think that's what I'm saying. If we could just hit on one of them, his confidence will go through the roof.
Of course.
And like I said, the running game will open up.
Yeah, and that's right. Right now it's hard because, you're a stud coming in 16 carries, 47 yards. That's not the kind of performance that you want if you're lopsided to the run game in your game plan until you get your quarterback feet wet and under him a little bit to capitalize on it. You want to give him 2 or 3 games. You really need to get that offensive running game going, and 47 yards isn't going to do it. You need to, again, create those holes and then, as that running game opens up, the passing game then opens up even more, and then it just kind of starts grooving, and they're hoping, obviously, the second half they start grooving.
We're going to step out for around 90 seconds. When we come back, we'll have more of our halftime show, adjustments that need to be made, keys from both Dans for half number 2. It is halftime here at Bob Tully Field. Roncalli and Franklin Central deadlocked. No scores, 0-0 on the board. Stay with us. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
The Roncalli High School Alumni
Teacher, it was my scientific demonstrations that kept so many students after school. Most will say it was the electric ignition for cars that was my greatest contribution. But my wife would argue it was the invention of Freon refrigerant for air conditioning. I'm a pioneer, and my name is Charles Kettering. Find your calling at Marian University's new Witchker School of Engineering. Pioneers wanted.
This year for Walkathon, it is possible and encouraged to collect donations online. Doing so starts as simply as going to roncalli.org/walk. This will take you to the campaign homepage. As you scroll down the page, you should see some preset donation values. Choose your desired donation amount, then search for the student you would like to donate to. Fill in your information when prompted, and you're done.
Vision Quest has 2 locations to serve you and your family in Greenwood and Geist. Visit VisionQuestEyeCare.com and schedule today. That's VisionQuestEyeCare.com.
Hi folks, it's Ben Stallings with Beck Service Center. Automotive breakdowns and routine maintenance never come at a good time. Let us help take the stress out of your automotive repairs. With 10 mechanics and 32 bays, we can get you back up and running with minimal downtime. Quality parts, experienced mechanics, locally owned and operated since 1977. Located at the southeast corner of Madison and Edgewood, we are pretty darn good at fixing cars. Let's go Royals.
You're listening to Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. Jimmy Cook, Dan Lauk, Dan Bauer here in the broadcast booth. A couple minutes left here at halftime. Roncalli and Franklin Central scoreless, 0-0. Dan's adjustments, keys, second half. Starting the offensive side. What do you need to see from this group? Just an immediate completion from Moyers, get that confidence up, or try to get Hansen on the outside and hope something opens up there?
Yeah, I mean, your bread and butter is the running game, right? So you don't want to abandon that by any means. But if you could start to get a little rhythm in the passing game, that'll surely help. But you don't want to go away from what you know works, which is the running game. And we had a little success on that last drive, so we'd like to see him go back to that.
I think one of the things it seems like, and it's hard to tell from way up here in our bird's nest, but it seems like they're kind of going through the motions. I think they need to put a little oomph in their step. You know, we saw the one run by Hansen that he kind of ran over some people, and I think the entire offense needs to have a fire lit under them, that whether they pass it or run it, you got to bring the gusto a little bit. You know, you got to want to win in order to win. And, you know, as a coaching staff, you got to at some point say, listen, you know, we've tried to pass a little bit, we've tried to run a little bit. We're not really getting much production. We got to, whatever we call, we got to get production out of it, and that goes to the players. You know, and seniors, let's go. You know, here we go.
We're going to step out for the final time on our halftime show. We come back, we'll have the start of the second half. Franklin Central and Roncalli scoreless here from Bob Tully Field. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
High School, Indy Teledata provides IT.
Just like baby, I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off the buildings used to be so stimulating. Now I'm reaching new heights, I'ma need the off-white. Play with the fire, you get burned. All of my struggles became lessons well learned. I got desires that keep me grounded, that's for sure. Cause one day we gon' make it on this earth. is your worth.
I'm thinking you're talking, you got the wrong one. I'm taking your king and I leave him broke. If I give him a second, it's after no one. Just give me a second to let him know. I'm the headline, the deadline. Big time. I'm a head time, the red time. Big time. I'm a legend, weapon, big time.
The king is back.
150 East Thompson Road.
Never lose your drive to deliver. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark through dedication and passion. At Spot, these characteristics, along with drive and teamwork, form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Take it from our Roncalli co-founder and our dynamic group of Royals alumni. They've never lost the entrepreneurial spirit that provides the foundation for our continued success. There's never been a time like this, and there has never been a partner like Spot. We're relentless, we are experts, we are accomplished, and like you, we will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals! 2 quarters down, 2 quarters of Roncalli Royals football to go. Let's go back to the booth with Dan Bauer and the voice of the Royals, Jimmy Cook.
Back here at Bob Tully Field, halftime winding down, second half about to get underway. Alongside Dan Lauk and Dan Bauer, I'm Jimmy Cook. Brief look at some of those first half stats. 43 yards on the ground for Roncalli compared to 23 on the ground for Franklin Central. 30 yards in the air for Roncalli, just 12 for Franklin Central. Time of possession, pretty even, 12 minutes, 48 seconds for the Royals, 11 minutes, 12 seconds for Roncalli. Other stat that jumps out that we talked about a couple of times tonight, penalties, 6 for 52 for Roncalli, 6 for 79 on the Flashes side of things. Plenty to clean up, Dan, on either side of the field for both the Royals and the Flashes.
And the other part of that we talked about, I mean, I think, whichever team, defense is getting to the quarterback. Defense is being more aggressive right now. Again, but the team's got to get better protecting their quarterback to give them a chance to move the ball up and down the field. Right now it just looks like these, it's going to come down to extra innings because, no team, although Roncalli that last drive got down close, but then the penalties backed them up and, they did not finish the way that you want. Once you get into the red zone like that, you got to finish.
Well, what do you want to see out of this first drive?
Touchdown. What do you want to see?
And you know what, guys? I can't leave this press box until we talk about how good the defense has been. We've talked about the offense a lot. Our defense has looked really good tonight, really stout. Got to shout them out, and Franklin Central's has as well. But really stout defensive play, and hopefully that continues into the second half.
Yeah, no question. That's a fair statement, and unfair for us not to mention that. Typically I really like defenses, but with the penalties and stuff, it's kind of like, well, is the defense playing all that great, or is the offense just that poorly right now? Again, you can't complain about the production that the defense is getting with a 0-0 game. Normally I'm all in favor of those low-scoring games because defense is where the game's won.
Well, the Royals will receive the football to start this second half, hoping for their first scoring drive of the evening. Came close to end the first half, but penalties and just a couple areas of miscommunication plagued the Royals and prevented them from taking advantage and going into the intermission with a lead. Instead, we're tied and yet to have any points for this first half. I want to remind you, if you'd like a shout-out tonight, wherever you're listening, send me a tweet at @TheJCook. You can hit a follow while you're there if you'd like for Roncalli coverage all season long. And, of course, you can, if you're of that exclusive ilk, you can send a text message to Twitterless Dan Bauer. He'll give you a shout-out as well. Royals set to receive in a scoreless game the first kick they've returned tonight. Only one kickoff, and that was the one to start the ball game. It's a bit of a pooch kick. Fair caught at the 30-yard line. Is that just a modern way to try to catch special teams napping? We're not going onside kick. We're just pooching in the air.
it was.
We're hoping a big fella ends up running with it instead of being smart to call a fair catch.
You kind of some way hope the sidelines aren't paying attention there, and they run back to get a return set up, and and then the other thing is you get hit high enough, your coverage can get down there and cause a problem.
Sure.
But you saw how quickly he raised the hand. They're now coached to do that. Let's not take any chances.
1st and 10 for the Royals from their own 30. First drive to start this second half. Punt, turnover on downs. Punt, turnover on downs. Turnover on downs for the Royals in that first half. Hard count. Handoff is to Hansen. He's got space and a hole up the middle. First down yardage. Right out of the gate, a 10-yard carry for Luke Hansen. Just what the doctor ordered for this Roncalli offense.
That's exactly. The line did a great job of splitting the C's there to the left side. Hansen took one jab step to the left and cut right up through the hole and had a nice – and then finished well, too. Ran over the tackler to get that first down.
One wide receiver to the left, one to the right. Hansen to the right of Moyers. 1st and 10 from the Royals 41. Opening drive of the second half. We're still scoreless. Flashes show pressure. Hard count. Handoff. Hansen, left side. He has the edge of the 45-50. Lowers the boom, and he has just short of first down yardage. We'll call it a gain of 9. 2nd and 1. Hansen already looking smoother, quicker, and the holes in the players up front creating those holes for him as well much more efficiently than that first half.
Exactly, and we talked about it in the first half. You asked kind of what do we want to do. Let's get Hansen out in space. That time they kind of tossed the ball, got it to him out.
You wanted that late second half.
I wanted that then, yes, and they're getting him out there. He's got the speed. If you can get him close to the edge, he'll get around the edge, and he'll have green space in front of him. 2nd
and 1 from midfield. One wide receiver to the right, one to the left. Moyers has Hansen on his left hip. Hard count. 3rd time he's used the hard count on this drive, perhaps to keep the Flashes guessing a bit, keep them honest. Hansen now moves to the right side of Moyers. Takes the snap. Give is to Hansen. Cuts up the middle to the 45, near the 40. We'll call it the 43. First down yardage and more, and the Royals churning closer to what we saw a week ago against Southport. Again, you're not expecting automatic holes like that every time, but this touted and proves itself on a weekly basis as one of the best O-lines in the state. Doing the dirty work there. 1st and 10 from the Flashes, 43. A wide receiver on either side. Handoff Hansen up the middle, turns the legs, gains about 3. Be 2nd down.
And Hansen kind of misread that play a little bit. The hole was to the outside, to the right there, but he must have saw something, obviously tried to get it up quickly. I like the idea of getting the ball quickly up to the line of scrimmage. That's usually going to end up in positive yards as it did here. You're just not going to get the 9 yards that you were getting earlier.
I'll call it a gain of 2, 2nd and 8 from the Flashes, 41. A wide receiver on either side, Hansen on Moyers' left hip. Hard count, takes a snap, handoff Hansen right up the middle. He's got daylight, has the first down at the 35-yard line of the 33. Well, hold on a second. It looked like he was going to have the first down yardage. The line judge going to call him a yard short, so it's 3rd and about 1. Royals in the gun. Hansen right there, Flashes show pressure. All 3 linebackers hovering in the middle for Franklin Central. Moyers receives the play. 3rd and 1 from the Flashes 35. A wide receiver on either side. Moyers sends a man in motion. That's Tunney. Takes the snap. Handoff. Hansen hesitates. Powers forward. Going to be close. They're going to say he's short. So it'll be 4th down. It looked like he was going to have the hole for a second.
Roncalli had the power to the right. They had a tight end over there, and they moved the H-back over there, put him in motion coming back. End up I'll call it a trap to the outside guy. Hole was right off his block. Then he got the first down. He cut up inside, trying to stay behind the big boys.
Big play. 4th and 1 from the Flashes, 34. Royals have a wide receiver on either side. Moyers in the gun. Hansen right there. Takes the snap. Gives it to Hansen. Up the middle. Keeps the legs turning. That's going to be tight.
Nope.
I don't think he got it.
I don't either. Oh, they got a generous spot, though. Oh, they got a generous
They're
spot.
going to move the chains. Boy, oh boy. Flashes were ready to run off the field with all the momentum.
Wow.
Instead, the Royals moved the chain. Now, I would argue I thought he had it on the first down run. So, I mean, tomato, worked out. But
in my head, I said makeup call.
Yes, sure.
So I wasn't going to say it, but since you brought it up, I think that's a fair assessment.
Ball in the Flashes 33. A wide receiver on either side. Moyer's going to pass this time. Looks right into the flat. High pass. Broken up. Good coverage by Jayan Harvey, the junior. He's been in a couple different plays tonight. It was a high pass. He met the point of the ball and swatted it down. Would have been a nice reception.
Dude is athletic.
Yep.
I'm throwing away from him from now on because he can just make a play.
Yep.
That was a fantastic play.
That's no credit card vertical leap out there. He's got some hype.
Yes.
He got some height on that jump. Be 2nd and 10 from the Royals 33. A wide receiver to the right and to the left. Hanson on the left hip of Moyers. Pressure coming. Hanson going to try the outside, looking for the edge. Keeps extending it. Flag flies late. And it's going to be a hold on Roncalli.
He's calling that on, well, I shouldn't dwell. Nolan Tooney. Tooney was a great block out on the edge, got underneath his pads, did a great job of wheeling him around to put him outside of it, and they called hold on. That's not a hold. If you go watch that film, that is not a hold because he kept everything inside his framework. But
look, I'm not going to fight with you on officiating calls, but I'm certainly not going to fight with you on calls in the trenches or on the outside. I mean,
our old statistician Bob Seuss-Michael hated when I got on the referees. And we're happy they're out there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're doing a great job for the most part. But I watched that. It was a great block, and I was getting ready to talk about what a great block it was. And then I see a flag drop at his feet, and I'm like, oh, no, that's not. That's a great block, and he's going to get penalized for it.
Well, this is how the drive stalled to end the half of the Royals. Penalties came into play. It's 2nd and 18 from the Flashes 41. A wide receiver on either side. Moyers takes the snap, drops back, 2-step drop, fires over the middle. He has a receiver. It's caught at the 20-yard line. First down, Royals.
That's a great pass. Great route.
Caught by Christian Swayze to move the chains.
You also had Tooney going the other side. There were two guys open right there. I like the tight spiral that went to the middle there to get the first down, but I kind of like the fade over the top.
Dan Lauk talked about a confidence catch. Got to build the confidence there of Eric Moyers. Great play. Staying in the pocket, stepping up, and making that completion. First and 10 for the Flashes 18. One wide receiver to the right, one to the left. Handoff to Hanson. Stutter steps, hesitates, spins for about 2. And again, we're going to talk about different Royals throughout the season, but you can't help but tip the cap to Hanson. Again, for most running backs, maybe I'm most impressed with his short yardage, as there is an injured Flashes player on the field. But short yardage plays, for some, that's no gain. He's able to keep the legs turning and turn it into 2 yards.
Well, and the player that's down right now, I cannot see his number, but he was playing that defensive end spot. He did a great job staying outside of it, forcing Hanson to come inside. If he comes underneath it, Hanson bounces it out, and he gets so much more yards. So, although he's hurt, it looks like he's cramping a little bit. You know, we don't want to predict exactly what's wrong with him, but he was kind of holding his leg in a way that may look like he's cramping. But he played it very well out there.
We're going to take a quick break. 7:49 left to play in this third quarter. 2nd and 8 from the Flashes. 16 Royals driving, hoping for their first score of the game on the Roncalli Media Network.
Harding Porman is a full-service
teacher. It was my scientific demonstrations that kept so many students after school. Most will say it was the electric ignition for cars that was my greatest contribution. But my wife would argue it was the invention of Freon refrigerant for air conditioning. I'm a pioneer, and my name is Charles Kettering. Find your calling at Marian University's new Whitsker School of Engineering. Pioneers wanted.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. 7:49 left to play in this third quarter. 2nd and 8 for the Royals from the 16.
I should have guessed it was Julius Parker that made that play.
Yep.
And he's another just a great athlete out there, and I couldn't see by his number, so I didn't want to give but that's who it was.
Royals play action.
Nice
Moyers
play.
rolls right, throw out in the flat. It's caught. Extending is Coughlin. He'll pick up about 4. Call it 3rd and 4 from the 12. Gain of 2, actually. 3rd and 6 from the 14, say the officials.
That's a pass that it's a short little pass, but you hope that you can kind of break a tackle to get a couple extra yards on it. Although we talked about Harvey coming up. Harvey came up from his safety spot there and really put the kaboom on him to make sure he didn't get any extra yards. It was Tooney, I think, that caught it.
Yep. 3rd and 6 from the Royals 14. Moyers in the gun. Hands off to Hansen, cuts back, turning, and he'll gain about 4, so we'll make it 4th and 2, perhaps 4th and 1, and you have to assume this is go-for-it territory. Although I will say with how efficient the Royals defense has played, it's not the easiest decision in the world.
Well, you're close enough to get 3 points here if you wanted it.
That's what I'm saying.
And at a 0-0 game, you'd just like to get some points on the game. But at the same time, you've gone a long distance. So
it's a momentum play. 4th and 2 from the 10. A wide receiver on either side. Hand off to Hansen. Has a hold of the right side. He's going to walk into the end zone for a touchdown. Luke Hansen from 10 yards out. Roncalli wins the momentum battle, wins the battle in the trenches, and draws first blood in this Southside rivalry. It's 6-0 Royals with 6:11 to go in this third quarter.
And that's a gamble when the defense comes up there. They are so intent on stopping you from getting that first down that they don't forget about the layering the defense. And so if you can get through that initial rush, you can get a touchdown out of it, which Hansen did. He was able to get through his seam, a tight swing, kind of jumped up through it, and then once he did that, it was all green and space ahead of him because Franklin Central had come down and really did all effort to stop them from getting the first down that ended up being a touchdown.
Whistler on for the PAT, and it is good. I will say, as we look at that, 14 plays, 549, 70 yards. Ends on a 10-yard run by Luke Hansen. I will say we joked, and this was a different avenue than the last blocked PAT last week. This one was from the edge. The other two were up the middle.
Right.
Coach Quintana prides himself and said, hey, we're not happy after the PATs. We want to get that cleaned up. That was thin ice there on that one. We'll take a break as well. 6:11 to go, but the Royals on the board. They lead 7-0 here in this third quarter over Franklin Central. Stay with us. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
For Top Mortgage.
Strike first. They lead 7-0 with 6:11 to go in this third quarter. Alongside Dan Bauer, I'm Jimmy Cook. We'll welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, Dan Lauk, here in just a moment. Thanks so much for joining us wherever you may be. Any shout-outs you'd like to send our way, send it at the J Cook or text Twitterless Dan Bauer. 549, 14 plays, 70 yards, capped off with a 10-yard touchdown run by Luke Hansen to give the Royals the lead. End-over-ender kick from Whistler, taken at about the 10, out to the 15, cut back to the middle of the field to 20, north and south to the 25, now the 30, 35 before they're finally forced out of bounds. Flashes a nice return to get out at their own 40. Let's send it down to Dan Lauk. Dan, your thoughts on that drive?
Yeah, I mean, high school football really comes down to kids making plays, and Luke Hansen made 2 really big plays. The 4th down run where it looked like he was stuffed, ended up spinning out of the tackle to pick it up. And then, guys, I had a great angle down here on that touchdown run. There was a Franklin Central defender right in the hole ready to make the tackle, and Luke made a great cut to the outside to take it to the house.
Well, that's what you expect from the senior. Saw it all last year, saw it plenty in that record-setting performance against Southport. Able to help the Royals get that 7-0 lead. 1st and 10 for the Flashes, 38. They look to answer with 6:02 to go in this third quarter. Hand off to the right side. Gain of about 3. Frankie Marquin on the carry. So it'll be 2nd and 6, they'll call it, from the Flashes 42. One wide receiver to the left, one to the right. A running back on either side. Play action, look left, and a tackle made after the catch by Anthony Coker. It'll gain the first down yardage. About a 8-yard gainer there.
That wasn't the first down. There's no way that was the first down. They moved the chains there. That was not a first down.
You are correct.
They looked like they were going to mark it up here, and they put the ball down back here. That official kind of screwed them up, and they moved the chains. But
I appreciate your clarification because I got punked, the officials got punked, our PA got punked. Chain gang moved.
Everybody did, yeah, because that guy made it look like they were going to move it up about 2 yards from where they ended up spotting it. But his job was not to spot it because it was spotted on the outside. His job was to place it, and everybody kind of thought he was going to place it where he was, and he wasn't. He was waiting for them to kind of make space to move it back.
So good eye by you. So what do you call this, about 3rd and 4?
Yes.
3rd and 4 for the Flashes. From the 48. Royals looking for a big stop here. Flashes trying to keep the drive alive. Tutterow hands it off, right side, pursuit there, they're short. It's a gain of about 3. Call it 4th and 1 and decision time for the Flashes.
Tutterow wants to go for it. He's adamant talking to the coach.
The sophomore asking for them to go and does not look like they will. I will say it again. I know you're probably going to tell me I'm crazy for it, but now I'm paranoid about it, so I will. Watch for a fake. We've already done it once tonight.
All right.
I know that's probably a one-trick move where once you do it, now it's a different You're right.
Different formation.
But now it's a unique formation.
They're going
different quarterback in there. The high snap, got behind him. He dives on it for a loss. They tried to utilize trick action. Wyatt Penny was the quarterback. Basically 2 in the backfield and 2 up front. The snap was high. Penny had no chance. The Flashes roll the dice. Comes up snake eyes and a turnover on downs for the Royals.
And Wyatt Penny's up limping right now. That's your linebacker that's really playing a pretty good game.
Well, he did everything he could to make sure that wasn't a scoop and score 6. Basically gave his body up after the high snap.
He did.
But he's staying out there.
And that set takes you all the way back to the old Four Horsemen days. That you don't see that set in today's offense. But I'd have to look at it on film again, but I think it's basically a single wing formation, and you're snapping it to the non-quarterback actually in the formation. But because
it perplexed me for a second.
Quarterback's actually over in the wing spot when they line it up that way. At least that's how Newt used to do it. But I'm not that old, but I remember those sets.
Handoff to Hansen to the right side. 1st and 10 for the 39. He's at the 40 to the 35. 40's forced out of bounds. A gain of about 3. Perhaps 4. And now all of a sudden momentum right back in the pocket of Roncalli. Officials time with 4:07 to go in this 3rd quarter. I believe it's an equipment situation for Nolan Tunney.
You got Hansen down.
I believe we also have an injured Royal, Luke Hansen, getting treatment on the sideline. So Hansen gets treated over on the Royals sideline. Prayers up to him. You hope he's all right. We'll monitor that as things go. For right now, it's Ben Brandenburg, I believe, in the backfield.
Yes, it is.
A wide receiver on either side. Hand off to Brandenburg right up the middle. Bounces it outside. Brandenburg has a hole. 35-20, 25-15. He's brought down at the 10. Big carry off the bench for the junior Ben Brandenburg. And the Royals are in business inside the red zone.
And Ben did a great job. He got hit kind of right at the line of scrimmage, but he's an upright runner, but he did a great job kind of just moving to his side, moving lateral a little bit, and kind of he didn't push away, but he just got separation and then took off to the races. A really nice read and run.
One wide receiver to the left, one to the right. Brandenburg to the left of Moyers. 1st and 10 from the Flashes 11. 3:20 to go in this 3rd quarter. Give is to Brandenburg. Up the middle, lowers the shoulder. He'll gain about 3.
For those interested, they've got Hansen down in there. They've got the the stick that they're rubbing on his calf, so it's some kind of cramp.
That's what it looks like. Yep.
It's those still hurt, but it's
can't imagine
you can recover from.
Yep. Well, we talked about how muggy and humid and hot it is out there to begin with. Extra motivation to stay hydrated, and even as fast as they're running, as fast as Hansen does, it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
Good work by the athletic staff, though, to be there. 2nd and 8 from the Flashes. 9. Handoff, right side. Brandenburg trying to get the edge. He will get the edge to the 10, to the 5, just short of the 5. Call it the 7. He was finally brought down by J.N. Harvey. Looked like he was going to be dead to rights twice, and Brandenburg able to extend the play.
Oh, and he thought he had the corner.
I thought he did too.
And everybody did except for Mr. Harvey again.
Yep.
We're calling his name way too much. He come up and just lowered the boom on him. Made it kind of almost no gain. That's a lot of work to pick up, 2 yards maybe?
3rd and 8 from the Flashes. 9. 2 minutes left in this third quarter. Roncalli 7, Franklin Central nothing. Moyer's in the gun, a wide receiver on either side. Takes the snap, looks right side on a slant, incomplete. They say the coverage was clean. It was a battle in between Swayze and I believe that was Harvey in the coverage.
I think it was Hines, actually, number
Good call.
7.
Good call.
But when he got done with it, there was definitely some, I'll call it wrapping of the hands, and Hines kind of stood up and
he put the hands, the signature hand. I didn't see anything.
I didn't do anything. Yeah, you did if you're doing that.
Yep. So Roncalli and the defense has been stellar tonight. Wisely going to play the possession game here. They're going to take the point after try.
Got a block on this one.
Good snap. Good hold. Kick is good. Royals come away with points with 1:46 to go. Roncalli 10, Franklin Central nothing. 1:46 left in this third quarter. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening and watching Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
The Roncalli High School Alumni Association is
School sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSA.
The Roncalli Media Network.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. 1:46 left to go in this third quarter. Roncalli leads 10-0 alongside Dan Bauer. I'm Jimmy Cook. Send it over to Dan Lau. Dan, your thoughts on the Royals kicking the field goal, taking the points?
Yeah, I mean, a huge kick there by Levi, but the play that really broke things open there was Ben Brandenburg's long run. High jumper, so I'm familiar with him. Great athlete. The kid's a ball of energy, and I know he'd love to be getting more touches. He got his chance there and took it.
Thank you, Dan. Andrew Lawrence, J.N. Harvey back to receive the kick from Whistler. Called about a 26-yard field goal for the Royals. They'll squib it or pooch it as well. It's taken to the 25 to the 30-yard line. Finally stopped at the 35. Little pile, not really a skirmish, but some usual words you'd expect. The officials blow the plays dead between two rivals. Nothing out of the ordinary. 1st and 10 from the 35 for Franklin Central, searching for their first points of the night.
Well, Franklin Central had such nice returns on there. They wanted to squib it down the field, hopefully just kind of pick it up. They still end up at the 35-yard line, so, it's kind of a win-win for either team or for Franklin Central for sure there.
1st and 10 from the 35, 1:40 to go in this third quarter. Royals show blitz, Tutterow rolling to his right, feels the pressure, steps up, lofts it near the sideline, incomplete. 2nd down.
Yeah, he was just trying to live another day there, just running out of real estate. He was getting close to the sideline and didn't want to take a loss, so he just kind of air-mailed it into the bench.
Yep. Be 2nd and 10 from the Flash's 35-yard line, still in the huddle with 20 seconds left to go in this third quarter. Roncalli 10, Franklin Central nothing. A Luke Hansen touchdown run And a Levi Whistler field goal, the point scored. Handoff to the left side, up the middle, a gain of 1. Carry there for Frankie Marquin. Luke Swartz on the tackle. So it'll be 3rd and 9 for the Flashes. They have just 2 first downs to their credit, all of those in the first half. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Tutterow. Gillard in the backfield with him to his right side. Royal show blitz. Takes the snap. Pressure coming. He's swallowed up and sacked. Is it Lauk again?
Swartz again.
Oh, it's Swartz again.
Yes.
Luke Swartz with the sack. And the Flashes will be forced to punt it away.
2 nice plays by the outside linebackers coming on that, because at that time they came hard from the outside, kind of forced the quarterback to step up.
Yep.
When he steps up, Luke gets a chance to bring him down because he pushes the middle. So, great job. The play before that, Brandenburg came on a blitz from the outside, did a great job coming underneath the block, forcing the running back to sneak up early, giving the Swartz the tackle again. So, although Swartz gets credit for all those, really a nice job by the outside guys to give him the opportunity to make those plays.
Punt is away, but officials' whistle will blow everything dead. I don't see any laundry of note.
I don't know what was going on. I didn't either.
He's pointing towards Franklin Central with 12 seconds to go in the quarter. But again, no laundry to speak of. Officials conversing. You have it?
12
legal substitution, 12 men on the field.
Yeah, you can't play with 12 in general.
No, you can't. That's true.
Well, if you can get away with it, you can, but most of the time they're counting.
Yep. So now you'll walk this up. Around the original line of scrimmage for the sack. So it'll be 4th and 9 now from the Flashes, 36. Ball stands on the 27-yard line. Bit of a high snap. Punt is nearly blocked. It's a wobbler that takes a Flashes bounce at the 40 to the 30. Ball thought about scooping it up. He did scoop it up, but he lost it. The Flashes have the football. Let's wait for the official confirmation. They do indeed. We talked about this last week, Dan. There's times where, as a return man, you get tempted to try to go for that ball. He saw it as a field position battle. Advantage Franklin Central, tried to make a play, couldn't scoop it up.
It took a quick bounce, which got him thinking, "Ooh, I can get this," and then it kind of sat there for a second. He had trouble fielding it, and he had got, by the time he got there, there were Franklin Central guys on his back pushing him, and it caused him to go over the ball. The ball snuck behind him, and Houdain Hines got it and gives Franklin Central great field position.
I believe
defense has to come back out.
I believe it's ball. I could be mistaken on that, but I believe it's ball that it's being attended to by the Roncalli athletic training staff. So,
well, if I muff a punt like that, I'm going to stay down as long as I can. It is ball. He looks okay.
Yep. He is walking out under his own power. I will say, regardless of the morale, he did take a lick as he was trying to recover that ball. But it'll be Flashes football, the best field position they've had all night. Deep in Roncalli territory at the 25-yard line. This will likely be the final play of the third quarter. Mark it down as a potential momentum shift. 2 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Tutterow has Gillard on his left side. And that'll end the third quarter. We will take a break as well. This is getting down to the Southside rivalry you hoped you'd see. Roncalli leads 10-0.
They're going to argue this. How do you, on a change of possession like that, why does the clock start?
I agree. I would have thought it would have stopped.
Now, maybe it's because it's not a true
It's not
change
technically a
of
change, right?
possession, but you got to reset the chains at least.
Correct.
And so I guess. But, I mean, when you
We'll take the break as well. Walk it down to the other side of the field. 12 minutes to go. Roncalli leads 10-0. Flashes with the football deep in Roncalli territory. When we come back, you're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
We will never lose our drive to deliver. Come find your spot at spotinc.com/careers. Go Royals! This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field. While we were away, a first down play, handoff to the right side went nowhere. So 2nd and 10 for the Flashes after the punt by the Royals. 2nd and 10 from the Roncalli 25-yard line. 2 wide receivers on the field, one to the left, one to the right of Tutterow. He has a running back on either side. Takes the snap. The give is to Marquin, and he'll gain about 3. Bring up 3rd down. Roncalli defense looking to bail out the special teams unit here and keep the Flashes off the board. All these points scored in the 3rd quarter. Roncalli putting up 10. Flashes still looking for their first points. Be 3rd and about 7. High snap. Tutterow rolls right, fires in the flat. It is caught, but it'll be about a yard or 2 short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th down. You got to think Flashes will go for it here.
Yeah, they have to go for it here. And it's about a yard short, it looks like, is where they're marking it. And, yeah, Franklin Central needs a score here, obviously, and I think you got to go for the touchdown.
It's 4th down and 1. 4th and 1 from the Royals 16. Roncalli looking for a big stop here. 1 wide receiver to the right, 1 to the left. Running back on either side of Tutterow. On the right side of the field. Takes the snap, handoff up the middle, penetration. It's going to be close. I don't think he got it.
I don't either.
Let's wait. That initial mark says no. Turnover on downs. The Royals turn them away. 4th and 1 from the 16, and the Roncalli defense holds.
Great job by Roncalli defense on that left side. They got a lot of penetration to that side. They tried to do kind of just a quick dive over in that area, and Roncalli just swarmed the defense and then did a great job of making sure, pushing him down into the turf as opposed to letting him lean forward to the goal line area, because sometimes that last link can get you across the line. And if you're being pushed down into the turf, you can't stick that ball out either to try to get an extra half yard out of it.
It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 16, so no harm, no foul. Crisis averted for Andrew Baugh. Just a film session of coaching up there and get that corrected as the Roncalli defense bails him out and saves the day. 1st and 10 from the Royals' own 16. 1 wide receiver to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff up the middle. It's Hansen. Carrying tacklers to the 30. A gain of 14, and Cool Hand Luke able to get the cramp, whatever it was, taken care of during that extended time. Good to go. Nice run there to move the chains.
And I almost made the comment that, starting on the 16-yard line, obviously your back's to the goal line a little bit. It's really important to at least get a first down or 2 to get the ball out, and then get the ball deep to let Franklin Central keep the ball away. Obviously, the better intention is to keep a long drive, go ahead and score at the end of it.
A wide receiver on either side. Moyers has Hansen to his left, 1st and 10 from their own 28, 9:44 to go. Royals lead 10-0. Handoff to Hansen up the middle, and he's swallowed up. Still turns his body, though, to fight forward. Probably no gain on the play. He's swarmed by the Flashes.
That was that same play we saw earlier where Tooney comes in motion and then tries to kick out the end there. But it just the play just never had the right tempo to it, and the ball didn't hit. On that play, you want to get the ball to that spot where he's kicking that end out right at the right time where, you don't have to blow him out. You just got to, occupy him, and then the run cuts off of that. But Hansen was kind of waiting on him to get there, Tony, and it just didn't Well, just not right timing on it yet.
2nd and 11 from the Royals' own 27-yard line. A wide receiver on either side. Handoff is to Hansen up the middle. Spins and turns forward for a gain of about 4. Be 3rd and medium for the Royals. 8:45 left to play here from Bob Tully Field. Roncalli leads Franklin Central 10-0. All those points scored here in the second half. Royals just forced a massive turnover on downs after a muffed punt, trying to keep this drive alive after the big defensive stand. 2 wide receivers to the right and none to the left. Moyers has Hansen to his left side. Flash is basically nobody deep, keeping everybody up close, showing pressure. Give is to Hansen. He's initially swallowed up, fought forward for about a yard, but the Flashes were ready, committed completely to the run, and that will likely force the Royals to punt this ball away.
Yeah, that play, and Dan pointed out earlier, they put everybody in the box there.
Yeah, there's no,
the only thing you can hope for is that Roncalli's got an audible called and they can change the play midway and go to a quick pass to the outside. But they went ahead and stuck with the play and ran and got nowhere out of it. In fact, they lost, 3 or 4 yards on it.
Yep. Harvey back to receive, stands at the 36-yard line. Standing at the 15-yard line is Whistler, ready to boot this away with 7:30 to go in this ball game. And we got whistles.
I don't see.
Play a game on Roncalli.
There it is.
So that'll bump things back. Took a talk about the battle of field position, not what you wanted if you're the Royals. Be 4th and 13 now from their own 25. Standing on the 10 now is Whistler. Harvey at the opposite 39. Good snap. Plenty of protection. Gets it away. A spiral punt that's fair caught at the 34-yard line. Royals right in the face of Harvey there as he received the punt.
Whistler kind of double clutched his steps there. With just he didn't have pressure on it, so I think he did it on purpose to try to get a little more oomph into it. Now, really nice punt.
We're going to take a quick break with 7:19. Actually, we'll stay here. 7:19 to go. Let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Dan Lauk. Dan, how have you felt about the exchanges and that turnover on downs the Royals forced a few moments ago?
Yeah, I mean, the Royals' defense has looked fantastic, and it all starts with number 99, Luke Schwartz. He's the linchpin at the front, and he's going to end up, by the end of his career, having played more snaps than any Royal player in.
Royals show blitz on 1st and 10. They swallow up and get a sack out of it. Sack made by Nathan Turner and Luke Schwartz. Be a loss of 7. 2nd and 17 now from the Royals 28. And Dan mentioned it, the dominance of the Roncalli defense, flexing their muscles up front once again. Mm-hmm. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right. 1 man in the backfield with Tutterow. It is Gillard. Play action. High screen is caught at the 30 and immediately met with resistance at the 32-yard line. Andrew Ball there on the coverage. It'll be 3rd down and long for the Flashes.
Well, Laut came around that left end there with his hands up. That's a big boy with those hands. The ball had to go high out of there just to get over those hands. But Franklin Central did a great job going up high to get the ball and then coming up. But then Andrew Ball brought the wood on it, though.
Woo. So it'll be 3rd and 12 from the Flashes. 33 with 6:10 to go. Roncalli leads 10-0 here in the South Side rivalry. 3 wide receivers to the left, 1 to the right for the Flashes. Royals. 4 down on the line. Takes the snap. Initial penetration. Standing in. High throw down the sideline. Incomplete. Overshot his intended receiver. Great coverage there by Judson Lowry. It was intended for Anthony Coker. And it'll be 4th down. The Flashes once again forced to punt.
Wow.
A shutout continues by this Roncalli defense.
Defense playing well. It was a well-thrown ball, but like you said, Judson was running stride for stride with him. And, again, just a great job by Roncalli defense just to not break in this situation.
Yep. So it'll be 4th and 12 from the Flashes 33. Ball stands at the 33-yard line. of Roncalli. Good snap. Punt is away, and it will drift towards the sideline, take a brief flashes bounce before chucking out of bounds. It'll go to the, after we play a game of cliffhangers, it'll go to the 29-yard line. First and 10, Roncalli, 5:45 left to play in this ball game. Alongside Dan Lauk and Dan Bauer, I'm Jimmy Cook. Roncalli 10 points in this second half, all coming in that third quarter. The touchdown via Luke Hansen. A field goal from Levi Whistler. And Roncalli now with the football in the driver's seat with 5:45 to play.
Yeah, you'd love to see a long drive here, obviously. You got that 5 minutes on the clock, move that down to next to nothing. If you can finish with points, all the better. But right now you want a long, slow, meticulous drive.
Hansen to the left of Moyers. First and 10 from their 29. Hand off to Hansen, trying to find the edge. Now cuts it back in, pursued from behind. Falls forward for a gain of about 4. Bring up second and about 6. Call it 2nd and 5 from the Royals' 34. Moyers heads to the sideline for direction from the coaching staff.
Hansen's got 121 yards on the night so far.
About 3.9 yards per carry. A wide receiver on either side. Hansen to the left hip of Moyers. 2nd and 5 from the Royals' 34. 5:05 to go. Hand off to Hansen. He's got to hold the right side. Cuts back to the middle of the 40. He's brought down to the 42. Tried to get separation, but didn't really need to get much more as he moves the chains for the Royals. Less than 5 minutes to go in this ball game. Well, if you're Roncalli, you'll take this 9 times out of 10, a 2-possession lead in pocket, and utilize those big boys up front in the running game to take this clock out of play.
10 yards and 1 inch every single time, and you don't need any more than that. Just keep the chains moving and the clock running.
Moyers has Hansen to his right. Sends a man in motion. That's Tunney. Hand off Hansen. Feeling his way around the middle. He'll fall forward for a gain of about 1 yard. Clock continues to run. Flashes unofficially on our end, still with all their timeouts. Not choosing to use them yet. In grand scheme of things, we'll talk about this in post-game, but how big is it for the Royals to end up taking those points with Whistler? Now this makes it a 2-possession game, and you can kind of be more deliberate on this possession. 4 minutes left in regulation. 2nd and 9 from the Royals' 43. Play clock's at 8. Moyers has Hansen to his right. The give is to Hansen. Up the middle, waits for it to develop, cuts back to the outside to the 47. He'll gain 4. Be 3rd and short. Hines on the tackle.
Well, Jimmy, on the opposite side of that, Franklin Central was in a position where they could have kicked a field goal. They went for it on 4th, didn't get it.
You're right.
Their coaches might be saying, man, if we take that 3, all we got to do is get the ball back, and then we can score. So it would have kept it a 1-possession game.
No doubt, and I'm sure you and Dan Lauk feel the same way, but post-game, a couple of hat tips to Franklin Central in the game they played this point tonight. We're not there yet. 3:10 to play. 3rd and 4 from the Royals' 48. A wide receiver on either side of Moyers. Hansen to his right hip. Give is to Hansen. He goes to the left side. A stiff arm. Keeps the leg moving for the first down. Moves the chains for Roncalli.
Oh, late flag.
But a flag near the offensive line. And this might be, it's a face mask.
Ooh,
correction.
Okay.
It's going to go against the Flashes. Well, if you're of the wagering persuasion, if you hear Dan upset about a flag on a play like that, it's in the direction of holding, but all worries aside.
All worries aside. But it was so far behind the play that they're going to call holding on that.
Right,
and,
calling on everything.
Yes.
Yep. Move the chains to the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 into Flashes territory for Roncalli. Again, nothing to hurry about. It's old-fashioned ground and pound football for the Royals right here. Again, remind you, stick with us during our post-game show. Dan Lauk will have a conversation with Royals head coach Eric Quintana. 1st and 10 from the Flashes 39. Hansen up to 143 yards on the ground tonight. A wide receiver on either side. Moyers, hands off to Hansen, looks to the left side of the 40, 35-30, cuts it back 20, he may go, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Royals. Luke Hansen puts the rivalry in the cooler with 2:26 to go, puts Roncalli in front, 16-0, makes his exclamation point run. He'd been searching for a long one all night, and he breaks one late to put this in the cooler for the Royals.
Did a great job reading the holes. Just to the outside, he followed kind of the blocks that he was there. There was two Franklin Central guys that kind of overran the play a little bit, expected him to stay outside, cut back just a litlittle bit, and then he had green spaces, and he's going to win that race 96% of the time.
Gives him 182 yards on the ground. That 39-yard run there for Luke Hansen, penning the PAT with 2:26 to go. Whistler, good snap, good hold, kick is good. With 2:26 left to play in regulation. Roncalli out in front, 17-0. Stay with us. You're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
Marian University wants to know, what are you made of? At Marian University, our students are made of character and faith. Our students are service-minded and want to make a difference in the world.
This is Royals football on the Roncalli Media Network.
2:26 left to go from Bob Tully Field. Franklin Central flashes faithful to the exits after a Luke Hansen 39-yard house call. 17-0 Royals. Alongside Dan Lauck and Dan Bauer, I'm Jimmy Cook. The kick is away, taken at the 10-yard line by Harvey to the left side to the 35-30, keeps his legs running to the 35-40, still on his feet, brought down to the 39-yard line. And correction, that was Andrew Lawrence on the carry. Had some good returns throughout the night as a special teams unit of Franklin Central. Let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Dan Lauck. Dan, what's the vantage point like on a Luke Hansen touchdown run?
Yeah, I've got a perfect spot for it down here, Jimmy, and it was all-out effort across the board for the offense. Luke could have easily just walked out of bounds there, but it shows you how hungry this offense was to score again. Great blocking downfield, just an overall great effort from the offense on that play.
Thank you, Dan. We'll have Dan's post-game conversation with Royals head coach Eric Quintana.
They called a face mask.
Face mask there.
Roncalli on the tackle there, so they're going to add 15 yards, I assume, unless it was just incidental. Well, yeah, it's 5 yards on this one.
Good eye by you. Royals stand tall defensively, still pitching a shutout right now. 17-0 Roncalli. Royals on defense, flashing with the football. 2:15 to go here in regulation. Two wide receivers to the right, two to the left. Tutterow takes the snap. Royals trying to get there with pressure. Quick pass at the 45, spins out of a tackle to the 50 near the first down marker. And that will be close for first down yardage. Let's see, I think it's going to be about a yard short. Hines with the catch. And we have an injured Royal on the 35-yard line.
Cramp in the background, it looks like. It might be Swartz, I think.
Well, it's a perfect storm for cramps. We talked about how humid and muggy it is. We're here in the friendly confines of the...
I better do a little stretching, too. It's hot up here.
The same I was going to say. It's toasty up here, but really in the elements is Dan Lauck. Dan, is that as bad as we think down there?
See down here, fellas. You know, I've got Coach
We have technical difficulties on the mic with Dan Lauck. we'll go back to him again.
He was down there
post game
stretching too.
I think he was. He was getting a stretch on. For what it's worth, if you're trying to troubleshoot, I think it was just a little too far away. 2nd and 1 from the Royals 47. Tutterow stands in, throws over the middle. It's caught.
Nice.
Got in behind the zone. Wide open catch at the 30-yard line. Harvey on the reception. Be 1st and 10.
Yeah, he put that ball right in the donut.
Yep,
Oh.
beautiful pass. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Little 2-minute drill. Tutterow looking, pressure coming. Rolls left. Now he's going to scramble and gets out of bounds after a gain of 5. Second and 6 from the 25, and a timeout called by the Royals. We will take our final break as well. 1:44 left to play in this ball game. Roncalli over their Southside rivals, Franklin Central, 17-0. Stay with us. Back after this, you're listening to Roncalli Royals football on the Roncalli Media.
I'm a savage. Drop the classic. Thinking back. To establish that the magic. It's all the magic. Got a magic. Who was that? Living legend. Lethal weapon. Mastermind. Never tried. Big dreams. I got big dreams just like baby. I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off of buildings used to be so stimulating. Now I'm reaching new heights. I'ma need the off-white. Play with the fire, you get burned. All of my struggles became lessons well learned. I got desires that keep me grounded, that's for sure. Cause one day we gon' make it out this earth. Where's your worth? I'm thinking you're talking, you got the wrong one. I'm taking your king and I leave him broken. If I am mistaken, it's after no one.
Tutterow looks, has plenty of time. Now he's pressured from behind and tackled from behind, brought down after a gain of 3. Be short of the first down marker. It'll be 3rd and 3. Doug Opel on Twitter tweets at you and Twitterless Dan Bauer. Give a shout out to Trevor Lauk. He was blocking 3 yards out of bounds on that Hansen touchdown. Some tired big boys out there. 3rd and 3. Throw to the far right side. It's caught at the 20 near the first down yardage. It will be enough to move the chains and keep the drive moving for Franklin Central.
Yeah, and Franklin Central, obviously, to try to get this game, they got to score as quick as possible, so they've got to be up at the line of scrimmage, ready to move.
1:10 to go. 2 wide receivers to either side. Tutterow looks left, now looks right, fires a fade to the end zone, picked off and intercepted by the Royals. And that'll do it. Andrew Baugh with the pick, and a nice redemption move for him. Not that it mattered. Again, Royals were up 17-0 in terms of the grand scheme of things, but you talk about momentum bright spots when you're down. Maybe you could feel sorry for yourself, even though it's a team game. Baugh, no such luck after the muff punt. He stays focused in the moment, gets a game-sealing interception right there.
Yeah, it's a great play by him to get that pick, and I'm sure it feels good for and that. And again, even with that mistake, Roncalli defense came and bailed him out. So hopefully he didn't feel like he needed to have that interception, but it's always nice to have it just to finish the game that way.
Well, this is going to be a complete shutout for the Roncalli defense. They're going to send the Flashes home scoreless. What an impressive game, particularly in the trenches for Roncalli. After 37 points a week ago against Perry Meridian for Franklin Central, they're going to be held scoreless by this Roncalli defense.
Shutouts are always nice defensively.
Oh, man.
It's not enough of those anymore these days.
Well, it's been over 2 years since Roncalli last shut out an opponent. We'll get to that in just a second, as you would think victory formations or just a handoff to Hansen as your likely play with 45 seconds to go. It's no victory formation. It is likely to be a handoff to Hansen. They'll let this go all the way down. 3 on the play clock. Handoff to Hansen. Luke spins, turns, and falls down for a couple, and that'll be the final play of this ball game. September 18th of 2020 against Guerin Catholic, a Roncalli win 42-0. Had been 2 years since their last shutout, and a shout-out tonight for them because they do it against one of their top rivals around this side of town. Final seconds tick away. The Eric Quintana era is up to 2-0 on the season. The home opener from Bob Tully Field is a victory. Your final score, Roncalli 17, Franklin Central 0, on the back of 2 nice touchdowns by Luke Hansen. Impressive work in the trenches in the second half by the O-line. And, of course, the Roncalli defense stifling this Franklin Central offensive attack. The third member of our broadcast team, Dan Lauk, does have Coach Quintana. I believe he's going to scoot up a little bit further. We'll test this as it is. Set it down on the field. Dan Lauk with a victorious head coach Eric Quintana.
Jim. Here with Coach Quintana. Coach, I know you said you had the Butterflies last week and got those knocked off with a win. How does it feel to get your first win at home here?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, this place is great. Just listen. I mean, holy smokes, our student section is fantastic. Parents are good. Administration's been awesome. Tough win, but shoot, we need those early. We need these tough wins early. It helps us as coaches adjust, and it just helps our guys figure out, hey, we told them at halftime, who's tougher? Are you tougher or are we tougher? So we put it in. We made some adjustments, and the rest is history. So it was good.
Absolutely, and obviously some adjustments made at half there to be able to hit Bay Dirt in the second half. Big story there is the goose egg on the scoreboard, Coach, especially against a 6A school like this. How do you feel like the defense played tonight?
Yeah. Staff does a good job. I can't give those guys enough credit. We put them in a bad situation the first half, and they rallied and answered. We got great senior leaders. Brian Lauk does a fantastic job with the defense, very smart. That should be my second year automatic hire on him, so he did a good job. And our kids too. Our kids are fantastic. They work hard, they're resilient, they do everything we ask them. I'm extremely proud of our guys tonight. Extremely proud.
Great. Congratulations, Coach. We'll see you next week against Chittard. Back to you, Jimmy.
Dan. We're going to step out for the first time. We come back, we'll have a recap of stats. We'll bring in both Dans, go over player of the game, and give a nod to Coach Quintana and his staff. Roncalli victorious 17-0 in the Southside rivalry against the Franklin Central Flashes. Post-game show starts next on the Roncalli Media Network.
Just like baby, I've been joining forces with the likes of an A-team. Jumping off of buildings used to be so stimulating. Now I'm reaching new heights. I'ma need the off-white. Hey, with the fire, you get burned.
Dan Bauer and the voice of the Royals, Jimmy Cook.
A rowdy and raucous Bob Tully Field on the Roncalli side of the ledger. The Royals victorious in the Southside rivalry against the Franklin Central Flashes. 17-0. The final here, alongside Dan Lauk and Dan Bauer. I'm Jimmy Cook. Before we look at the first half numbers, actually, no, we'll dive into the first half numbers. First half, second half, full game. Can't make up my mind. In post game. Take a look at these full game numbers. Roncalli gets all their scoring done in the second half. 10 points in that second quarter. A Luke Hansen touchdown. And a Levi Whistler field goal puts the 10 points on the board there. And then a nice icing on the cake, 39-yard touchdown run by Luke Hansen in the fourth quarter gets the job done. Roncalli 17 first downs to just 4 for Franklin Central. Only 7 in the first half for Roncalli, first down yardage-wise. They get 10 of those in the second half, only 2 in each half for Franklin Central. Just a true suffocating defensive effort put forth by Roncalli, giving up just 86 yards of total offense. We'll have to look at that as we continue in postgame show, but it's been a while since Roncalli has held an opponent under 100 yards. It came close last week, only 100 yards given up to Southport, but second week in a row, and again, competition continues to get stronger as we move forward on the schedule, but back-to-back weeks you see a talent jump. You're going to see the same next week for Roncalli when they welcome in Bishop Chatard. That'll be another rock fight for sure, but you look at the stats and how suffocating this Roncalli defense was. Let's start on that side of the ball first. How impressive is that 2 halves of football against a Franklin Central team that's clearly on the rise, that's clearly hungry?
Yeah, and again, Franklin Central, again, I think they play in the toughest conference. They have, you can see that they're getting better. Now, last year, Roncalli beat them, 34-13, so 21-point victory last year. So a lot of people might look at this and say, oh, only a 17-point victory. Franklin Central is a really good football team. And they are 6A. They're a huge school. But that defensive effort to hold them to a shutout, and especially when Roncalli has the muffed punt return there that gives them the ball at the 35-yard line or something, and they get a chance to score there. But Roncalli's defense steps up and stops them. I mean, Roncalli really gave them nothing to go on, and they're a really good offense. I mean, they threw the ball last week for 144 yards or something, 141 yards maybe, and they didn't even, non-threatening in the passing game this week. So, again, just an overall fantastic effort by the defense.
And you look at potential plays of the game. I know we don't give those out, but, Dan's 1,000% right. You look at it, it's a one-score game at that point after the muff punt. Defense could easily be frustrated about being back out there, and they rise to the call as they did throughout the entire night to turn them away, keep it a one-score lead for Roncalli, and then build on that moving forward. But it all started on the defensive end answering the call there.
Championship defenses are made on that end of the field. Everybody can be a good defense when you're on the the plus side, but
sure.
When you get your backs turned to the you're on the goal line and the other team's about to score, especially off a turnover like that, that's where championship defenses are different. And the Royals were able to say, hey, we haven't given up any points so far. Why should we now? They really buckled down. The combination of experience up front with Luke Schwartz, Trevor Lauk, Brady New, and the inexperience at the back end, which is what I've been really impressed with. Guys like Braden Lauk, guys like Judson Laurie, guys like George Martin, they're not giving up anything, and I honestly didn't expect that coming in. So kudos to them and kudos to the defense overall.
We're going to step out for our first and only time here on the postgame show. We come back, we'll hand out player of the game honors, give final thoughts from this one, and look ahead to next week. You talk about rivalries, arguably one of the biggest rivalries on the schedule, and Bishop Chatard comes into town next week. A lot on the mind of both those programs. Looking forward to previewing that here in just a second. You're listening to Roncalli Royals Football Postgame Show Edition on the Roncalli Media Network.
Never lose your drive to deliver.
Sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
As a teacher, it was my scientific demonstrations that kept so many students after school. Most will say it was the electric ignition for cars that was my greatest contribution. But my wife would argue it was the invention of Freon refrigerant for air conditioning. I'm a pioneer, and my name is Charles Kettering. Find your calling at Marian University's new Whitsker School of Engineering. Pioneers wanted.
On the Roncalli Media Network.
Welcome back to Bob Tully Field for the final time this evening on the Roncalli Media Network alongside Dan Lauk and Dan Bauer. I'm Jimmy Cook. Roncalli, second-ranked Roncalli Royals in Class 4A, 2-0 on the season after a statement win, at least most definitely on the defensive side of the ball. In the second half, offense really came on to put the Royals into a 17-0 victory over Franklin Central. Now time on our post-game show to hand out our post-game award. Player of the Game honors. I let the two seasoned veterans have this discussion during our last break. What'd you guys land on?
It was a pretty easy discussion, actually, and we're both defensive guys by heart. So,
Sure.
But I'm going to start on the offensive side of the ball because I don't want to give the secret away just yet.
Okay.
You look at Hansen. You know, he was the player of the game, obviously, last week. Ran for 182 yards tonight. A hard 182 yards. So, I know you were kind of dissing him because you only have an average of, 3.5 yards a gain or something. I'll remind you that he has 517 yards in 2 games, which is an average of about 258 yards a game. I'll take that all season long if we can get that kind of production out of him. But back to the player of the game thing.
I'll let you sideswipe me and keep going. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Go ahead. Sure. It's fine. Continue on.
The player that stood out to both Dan and I was Luke Swartz, right in the middle. And I'm going to tell a little story if you guys don't mind. We got plenty of time on this, right? I can go on and on about stories.
You're free.
Last year, when he played, he had trouble moving out of a circle, and it wasn't a very big circle. And he filled the room up in that little circle. But if the play was 2 yards over, he wasn't going to make the play. And space eater, but in high school you don't need a space eater generally. Towards the end of the year, he started to pick up his pace, and he started to play the sideline to sideline, hash to hash, we'll call it, not quite sideline to sideline. The first 2 games we've seen out of him, he has been all over the field. He is pressuring the quarterback, and you don't see that from a middle guy all the time. You just kind of want him to close the pocket. He is getting around guys and getting up into the quarterback's face. He is making tackles, a lot further out of this circle. This circle's tackle to tackle now where he plays, and I think he, unofficial stats, they got him for like 6 tackles and almost 2 sacks. But he was just a difference maker. Every punt, he's coming close to blocking a punt every time because he's got footwork now that he can zoom around and get between the guard center gap and get back and push the up back into the punter. And he just, for a nose man to make that kind of plays and that kind of difference, I'll give him player of the game every day if he does that kind of plays.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really special kid, and I'm a little biased because he's the one player on this roster that I had the privilege of coaching as he started as a freshman. He's going to end up being one of the playing more snaps than anybody else in Roncalli history.
Aiden Leffler, though?
He and Leffler. I guess that would be close. Depends on how long we make it. Hopefully we make it to Thanksgiving. But, yeah, Luke ended up coming and starting at nose for us very early in the season.
Right.
But he's a difference maker, and he's such an underrated player on the team. He's not 6'7" like Trevor Lauk. He's not 6'6" and 200 pounds. So he's a special player. He makes plays in the middle of the defense, and I think he's deserving of the player of the game here.
Yeah, no question.
You're not going to hear me argue that. I might have you go first next time, both from a timing perspective as well as to avoid getting sideswiped out the way. To clarify what I was trying to emphasize how great Franklin Central's defense was, the fact that he was blowing up Southport. And if you're going to finish with 5 yards of carry, you're not going to hear me complaining about the type of day that he's
No
having.
question. That was just ribbing you a little bit.
I know you were.
Just ribbing you a little bit.
I got to give it back when I can, though. So, looking ahead to next week. You look at I've used the term rivalry maybe a little bit liberally the last 2 weeks, but it's the South Side. I grew up with passion against both the schools that have now face Roncalli, but you turn the calendar to games that are really exclamation point games, and a return home for Coach Eric Quintana. When you look at his coaching tree and where he's been, I guess not a full return home, welcoming in, I should say, his former home when the Royals host next week. Arguably the biggest game on the schedule.
I'm not allowed to talk first.
Well played. Well played.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to get overhyped for one game, but if you had to take a poll of the team, 99.99% would say Chittard's the biggest game, and the 1.1% would be a kid that probably went to Franklin Central growing up. So it's a huge game, obviously, for the team. I know Chittard's really tough. They beat a really good Brebeuf team last week. Not sure what they did tonight. So it's going to be a dogfight. This place is going to be packed next week. It should be a really good game.
Hopefully it's not a kid that went to Plainfield last week and he understands the importance of this game. But and I have to say, I know everyone around these parts likes to beat another school that begins with a C up on the north side.
Nice.
In my day, this was the game.
Yep.
Chittard was rival because we didn't play Cathedral in football. This was the game.
Yep.
And I mean, and they felt like this was their game too. They wanted to beat Roncalli worse than they wanted to beat Cathedral. I don't know if it's that way still, but they back then it was. And to me, this is the perennial matchup because you got two schools that are almost identical. In Chittard, the way they've done it, obviously they're 3A, so a little bit smaller, but I've got 13 championships maybe or something.
Yep.
It's a large number, and it's because they do it the right way. And every time you get these two schools matched up, it is going to be a classic matchup because they both want to win badly, and they are both so well coached on all elements of the game that it is hard to find a crack in the armor. And now you've got a head coach that is,
Sure.
Really wants this one badly. You have to be a little careful in that when you want something that badly,
Right.
when it's got some personal blood going through there, you got to remember not to overcoach it. And let the players play it and just set them up to be successful, and try not to make them want to win so badly for you that they get a little tight. But I'm sure Coach knows what he's doing.
Well, as the most recent graduate of the fine school, I could say that Chittard was still right up there with Cathedral. Just
Good.
for whatever reason, the
Good.
Notre Dame wannabes to the north, it always irked me a little bit whenever they were on the schedule. But Chittard, right up there in terms of maybe 1A and 1B for wins I wanted to see on the schedule. We'll have that game for you next Friday night right here from the friendly confines of Bob Tully Field. That'll be about a 6:40 p.m. pregame show, 7 o'clock kick. Dan Lauk will be back alongside, as will the great Dan Bauer. Guys, some final thoughts to put a bow on this one tonight.
Well, I mean, a win's a win anytime. And again, there was a lot of great teaching points out of the first half, but a 0-0, halftime score was not what anybody expected, especially those coaches. But again, you saw what I like about it is it gives the coaches an opportunity. Those players got to see what Coach Quintana's like, in a locker room when the chips are down a little bit. And I think the players responded really well to it. They did what they had to do. They came out, had a long drive to score first to get to 7, and then struggled, just to get the ball back again to kick the field goal to give them the 2-score lead, change the rest of the game. That defense just was stifling tonight. And again, I think you like the advancements that were made in week 1 to week 2. Now, as you said earlier, Jimmy, the games keep getting tougher. And this game will get tougher, so they've got to be ready. And there's a lot of coaching points, so it should be a fun week.
Yeah, I mean, we heard Coach Quintana after the game say how much this first win at home felt for him. Jimmy, first broadcast back at the old stopping grounds. How's it feel?
It feels great. I got to be honest. I was spoiled last week. I mean, anytime your first broadcast is a record-setting night, like it's going to be hard to top that. But I love a good defensive battle, and to see it all in the trenches. And then, because we didn't mention this at all post-game, this is a Franklin Central team that is on the rise. Like this,
no question.
Not that anybody's doubted that, but the program Jason West is building there. Like, this is a game that I'm circling as must see and must listen to next week or next year when they're at Franklin Central for this matchup, because he's building things the right way up there.
And Dan brings up a great point. You've done some away games for Roncalli. Is this the first football home game that you've done? Because we did Elder last year,
as the official voice of the Royals.
It is
the
first
yes.
official voice of the
Royals. But even as the second official,
I think this is the first game inside of Bob Telly Field.
Yeah,
I feel confident because I did a
Franklin
Central game
at Franklin Central.
Probably 8 years ago, and then
I think it's longer than that, wasn't it?
It's 2014, 2013. It wasn't
okay
because it was my freshman year.
You were right out of high school.
Right
yeah.
right out
I
of high
did
school.
the game with you.
You did.
I think I was late for the game, but or maybe that was with Rob. Anyway,
who is to say? Who is to say? But no, I mean, opportunity to get behind the mic. I was thrilled about the opportunity to be back here to get to work with you. I heard that Dan Lack was going to be along for the ride too, and add a bonus. It's been a lot of fun, and like Coach Quintana, while it's a nice win, main reason I signed up is for epic games. Not that this wasn't it, but next week where the money's made.
No question.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Also at home, so
Indeed.
that'd be good.
Indeed. So that'll be a fun one. Again, join us next week, 6:45 pregame, 7 p.m. kickoff. The executive directors of the Roncalli Media Network, Therese Carson and Aaron Hummel, our video tech and video extraordinaire, the great AJ Ablog, sideline reporter Dan Lauk, and my partner in crime tonight, as he is all season long, is the legend, Twitterless Dan Bauer. Our final tonight from Bob Tully Field, Roncalli 17, Franklin Central nothing. Until we talk to you next week from this very Bob Tully Field, when Roncalli battles Bishop Chatard, this is Jimmy Cook saying so long, everybody.
School football fans, welcome back to Friday nights, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
This year for Walkathon, it is possible and encouraged to collect donations online. Doing so starts as simply as going to roncalli.org/walk. This will take you to the campaign homepage. As you scroll down the page, you should see some preset donation values. Choose your desired donation amount, then search for the student you would like to donate to. Fill in your information when prompted, and you're done.
As a teacher, it was my scientific demonstrations that kept so many students after school. Most will say it was the electric ignition for cars that was my greatest contribution. But my wife would argue it was the invention of Freon refrigerant for air conditioning. I'm a pioneer, and my name is Charles Kettering. Find your calling at Marian University's new Whitsker School of Engineering. Pioneers wanted.
This is your IHSAA. This is your state. This is your high school. This is your athletic association.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and we're here to make sure that all of this remains yours.
This is your state. This is your community. This is your IHSAA.
Since like baby. I've been 24 with the likes of an A-team. The buildings used to be so stimulating. Now I'm reaching new heights. I'ma need the off-white. Hey, with the fire, you get burned. All of my struggles became lessons well learned. I got desires that keep me grounded, that's for sure. Cause one day we gon' make it out this earth. Where's your worth?
I'm thinking you're talking, you got the wrong one. I'm taking your king and I leave him broke. If I am in second, it's after no one. Just give me a second to let